What's up guys, Mattsbeybattles, and today we have the timesheet video, finally. Long awaited. Let's get into it just because it's going to take a long time. This is a 3-hour and 25-minute splice. So, hopefully, I think I got all the audio good and everything like that. So, don't know how much I'll be looking up at the webcam. I might end up just looking down at the screen a lot. So, yeah, I got into time trialing. Originally, I just thought it was interesting to watch. I watched a lot of like the in-meet updates for Mario Kart Wii. And then at some point, I started watching like Artat play Mario Kart 8 because I always liked. He was shout out in an in-meet video doing like a world record review for Mario Kart 8, and then I just started watching him more like years down the line. And yeah, eventually I just started playing some of the tracks I liked, you know. I started watching more Mario Kart, trying to get a bit better, you know, at 8. I chose 8 because it was on my Switch. I could bring it anywhere. I wouldn't consider it my favorite game, but I'm probably the best at it compared to the other games. I'd have to get a lot of rust off of like Mario Kart Wii or something. But anyway, eventually, Inmead's channel evolved into doing more of the long form stuff, going over like records and stuff. And one thing he did was his timesheet. And he did one on 8, and I think he did on some of the other games too. But I figured since I have started to stream a bit of Mario Kart, and I'm looking to just expand my channel, right? Why not do something like this? I think it'd be fun. And yeah, what really set it in motion though was I'm not sure how official they are, but there is a standards sheet. There's standards in all the Mario Kart games. They're basically just goals to get to. And there wasn't really one for 8 Deluxe, and now there's at least one, even if it's unofficial. And it's nice just to have that to like work towards. So yeah, that was Mario Kart Stadium. I've had trouble beating that one. Rule. Oh, I've got my phone so I can check my sheet too. Rule: if it's Yoshi, it's newer. If it's not Yoshi, it's not newer. Or a Yoshi equivalent, it's not newer. So this one I just did like last month. I started to play Water Park. I kind of like playing Water Park. I thought it was pretty fun. I like the drifting to go into the water and holding that drift. I think that is incredibly fun. I think I have some room to improve though, because I've started to learn a bit more motion glider, and I think I can take that turn more like they do. Have a better shroom. But yeah, anyway, the standard sheet came out, or I found a standard sheet. And it was a Google sheet that was made that you could put in information and it would change things for you and update it a little bit. You know, like where you got to, your rank and stuff. So yeah, that's what really got me more towards it. So I figured this would be a good, not only just to do this, but you can see how I improve over the course of, you know, going on. Because really, I've had this game a long time, but I haven't really started playing it until last year. I think it was last year specifically. Yeah, I think it was actually last year, not even 24. Maybe I played a little bit 24, but I don't have more than a year and a half of experience really playing. And even then, it's kind of in segments. But yeah, so you'll see some old times that are very not good. Times that I make mistakes on because I was just trying to. That shows you my skill level when I really just started playing, because I was just trying to get like the staff goats beaten on the original tracks. And then you'll see ones where I've improved my skill level a little bit. And then some tracks that are better. This one I think is up there. And then we got my times and my lap times before everything. So let me go ahead and confide with the sheet here. I have trouble beating this time. This is an older time. I don't know when I said it. Is this document? Yeah. So Expert C on Mario Kart Stadium, Hero B. Oh yeah, the standards go as follows. There's C, B, and A for all of them except for God. It's beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, hero, titan, myth, each with 3, and then just God at the top, which is the 22nd. So this one is Hero A, one of my better times, honestly. And I'm having trouble beating it. I've kind of gone back to it a little bit because I do like this track. It's fun to play, but I've had a lot of trouble. So I think my next step is honestly soft drifting. I think that's where I'm weakest at, and I'm not good at getting the like snaking, because I still, on habit, like to hold my stick pretty far over and not at the soft drift angle, and I know I could soft drift and get those mini turbos charged up without going at a crazy angle like that. So I think that's where it really is going to be my improvement on a lot of tracks. This is my best older time, and Mario Kart Stadium is probably my second best older time, if I'm being honest. There's a couple tracks, one of them's Swamp Ruins, so we'll see it very soon, that I took a couple attempts to record this entire thing, because I accidentally left the audio on, and I was doing other things while I was recording, so I left the audio on, and I was like, oh crap, I can't use this. And then the other one, it was kind of grainy, and I improved my, on the OBS side, some stuff, so it looks a lot better than it did. There's an unlisted video, I might put it in the description or something if you want to see the differences. But a couple times, I thought I had the times ready, don't need to do anything more, and then I reset. So this was the original time I had. I actually did make that one recently, and then I came back and took about a second off of it, I think. So I enjoy playing this track. I think you can do this shortcut at the beginning shroomless. I'm not sure if it's how worth it is. I should have gotten that coin. I'm not sure how worth it is. Like in time trial, like if you gain a lot of time from doing that shroom, it's just better just to get the shroom. I know you can drift into here and charge with the mini turbo. I want to make sure I get the coins lap 1, so I'm not worrying about that yet. Maybe in the future when we go back to it. I do plan on streaming a lot more time trials, at least as I'm feeling Mario Kart. I go back and forth. There'll be times where I'm not feeling Mario Kart. I'm kind of feeling Mario Kart right now, which is why Crystal's taking a back seat. Crystal's also on my laptop, so I have to carry everything over, unplug something, because it's a bit more of a hassle. I guess I probably could, like, transfer some data over, but do I this lap? I think, yeah, this lap I do, because I just want to make sure I got the coins. I know there's probably faster ways to do that, but you know, you take it a step at a time with what you feel comfortable with. If you feel comfortable doing something crazier, then you can. I know you can gap jump right back there on that corner. I know there's also is it Genswag glider, I think? On this track, I think. I'm not entirely certain. I think there is at least a little bit of like glider strats. I've started to learn a little bit of motion glider, but not a lot. So that's another step I'll have to take at some point, is better at motion glider. That seemed close. Okay, I should also go over my opinions on some of these tracks too. So Mario Kart, from a time trial perspective, how much I enjoy to play on them, because I know a lot of these tracks change totally if you play online, because you know you have like bagging tracks, you know, like a lot of the circuit tracks are bagging tracks, but I like racing on the circuit tracks. I think it's fun. So from a time trial perspective, I love it. I'm not sure that's how racing would be. This is an older time. No, this is a track I updated. So yeah, I took 4 seconds or so off of Meadows. It's not a great time. I only did like 2 attempts at this to get it down. It's just my original one was that bad. I wish I didn't save the recording because it was part of the big thing, so I wasn't going to just clip that one time out. Overall, I like from a time trial perspective, I like all of the Mushroom Cup tracks. I enjoy playing all of them. Mario Kart Stadium is one of my favorite first tracks in the game. Water Park, I've learned, I would consider that a D tier, C tier track, but actually like time trialing it I like a lot more. And I've always liked Sweet Sweet Canyon and Swamp Ruins. This track is probably in the middle. I would come back, like I wouldn't, how do I put this? There's tracks you want to focus on, there's tracks you like but maybe don't focus on, and there's tracks you probably don't care about, right? This falls into it's not my favorite track, but I'm gonna probably come back to it at some point and see how much I can get it down, because I think I've got room. I don't hate playing it, it's just not my favorite track to play. There's some tracks that I'm probably gonna be ones where I only really play them when they're like my worst times, and I'm like, I need to get this up because it's dragging my average down. There's a thing that tells you where your rank is. So as you get better, as you increase your times, your rank overall goes up. Right now, I'm currently at Advanced A overall. Most of my times are in the Advanced area. This one is a Expert B. but, you know, there's a few, like, intermediate ones I have left that I just am not great on. This is one of my tracks I play a lot. I absolutely love the circuit tracks. I play GBA Mario Circuit and a couple of other ones. I'll note which ones I put a lot of time into. I put a lot of time into this one. I've had trouble getting back to where I was because I didn't play for a bit of time. Like, we're talking 6+ months. I didn't really play much Mario Kart 8. And I'm rusty. I'm having trouble getting back to this one. I missed a mini turbo here, and I think I would be a rank higher on this track if I didn't miss that. Because I'm very close. I believe, what is it? I'm Hero C. I'm 0.028 away from the next rank, so I need basically any improvement to move up. The record I know doesn't even go for those coins, and the record just goes for they get the 2 coins right away immediately. Obviously, you get these, and the record goes inside and doesn't get those 2 coins. It gets that one on the inside, and then I think probably just finishes. I don't know what count that is, but I think that they just finish it off with getting coins on that other ramp on the other side of this part. I have moved into at least cutting that corner off. I think I'm alright at it. I'm not entirely certain. I love playing the circuits. I just think these are... It's because they're like actual racetracks. This one especially is an anti-gravity heavy. The shortcut, as you learn it, it gets a lot easier. So there's no like DS Mario circuit where you slide way outwards and it's really awkward. I'm not sure how much I care about this track. This one is one that I would come back to just to make sure that my times are overall fine. It's Advanced A. I probably want to get everything to Expert at some point. I think I said my goals in my goals for the channel. You know, I had some Mario Kart goals in that, and one of them was to get myself up to Expert C. I think I'm going to hit that. I probably should set that goal higher and just see how high I can get. Because a lot of these tracks, I realized that if I watched the record once and learned a little bit of strategy, I probably could trim a lot of time down on a lot of these tracks. Even though my average is Advanced A and most of my times are there, a lot of these times I didn't go back to. I just started playing tracks that either I liked. What a great low trick. Like, out of nowhere, I have a random great low trick on this track that I've barely played. Anyway, I've noticed there's a lot of times that are very easy for me to improve when I actually sat down and play the courses, because I just was so bad, you know, and didn't know really anything beforehand. And this is like one of those, I think. Well, I assume this is one of those. I assume most of these I can get. Given what happened on Moo Meadows, right, where I cut 4 seconds off, I assume most of them are probably like that. Anyway, this is one, though, that I probably would only come back to just to make sure it's staying ahead. I don't want to let times totally rot, because I want my timesheet to overall be good, but I don't care to be enough of a specialist or enough of a generalist that I'm focusing on playing tracks I don't really like. Like, I'm going to put more of my focus there and do just enough to keep these that they're good, you know? And if I feel like I can, or I randomly just am like, you know what, I want to play this track for some reason, you know, come back to it. And this time isn't particularly anything special. This was essentially my main for a little bit. I've actually mainly been... I typically go with babies in newer Mario Kart games. I like Rosalina, though. This is such a weird combination. I have no idea why I'm GLA Slick, if the record does this or not. Maybe the record does this or something. Awful Mini Turbo. I don't use my mushrooms till the end of this either, and I don't get like any coins. I know I can improve this one a lot. Because I probably have raced this track better, just in like an actual race with my lines and everything, since I've done this time trial. I'm not the biggest fan of Toad's Turnpike. I kind of wish there was more cars, honestly. I wish some of them were coming at you and not all going in the same direction, because I think that's what it is on N64. I'm not entirely certain. I don't have experience in Mario Kart 64. I think Shroom Bridge is more fun in this game, weaving around cars. And Moonview Highway is fine. I like it more in Wii, if I'm being honest. That was awful attempt at getting coins. Yeah, like you could see how what my skill level is on some of these. And you can see, you know, with some of these other times that my skill level isn't quite there now, but you can see the improvement in this video from when I started playing to what I'm at now. and then hopefully we'll be able to see most of these times improving by the end of the year. Assuming I play a decent amount, and don't, like, say I'm not in the mood for Mario Kart for a long stretch of time, because that does get a bit tricky. You have to unrest a little bit, but I've played enough Mario Kart in general that I unrest pretty easily. But when you get to a really good time, it's kind of hard to just unrest if you stop playing entirely for a long period. But that can also be good because you can unlearn habits. There's a chance I plug in my regular Switch, not my Switch 2, so I can use the GameCube controller, and see if maybe I could try that, because I know Shortcut did a thing on that, and it's easier to motion glide, and it's also easier if once you learn it. I mean, it's kind of easy to do this once you get the hang of it, but you know, it's a bit different because it's button pressing essentially for the motion glider. And then there's you can set the sticks so they're down a little bit and not in the middle. So the 45-degree notch is a just a straight up soft drift. I will come back to that one for sure. I would expect that most of these tracks I come back to at least once over the course of the year to improve them, because a lot of these are not good times. This entire cup, I believe, or that last cup, except for Mario Circuit, is a lot of tracks that I haven't played a lot of. You know, even that Moon Meadows time I said, I really just kind of picked it up, played 2 times. I think I just did 2 attempts, and that was the second one. So this one I'll definitely come back to. I don't love this track, but I don't hate it enough to want to avoid it entirely. There's some tracks that I'd be borderline that on, but this isn't one of them. I just haven't played this one really much. It's alright, it's not my favorite. I don't love anti-gravity, and this is mostly anti-gravity. There's exceptions to that, though. I really like Big Blue. I don't care for Mute City. Mute City's fine, but I love Big Blue. And that one's entirely anti-gravity. As I said before, the one thing that I really noticed with a lot of these is, well, this is a bad combination for mini turbos because it's a heavyweight. I don't think this is what the record is. I don't know why I'm using this. I wonder if I recorded this time before all the DLC. Like, most of these Rosalina and weird character times are pre-DLC entirely, let alone them adjusting things on the characters. I would think that this is a Yoshi track, like almost everything is, because it's not a total straight line like Moonview Highway, or like a Big Blue. Big Blue uses the heavyweight. Oh yeah, so Moon Meadows is Expert B, Mario Circuit Hero C, Cheap G Beach Advanced A, Toad's Turnpike Advanced B. This is Advanced B. Everything is Advanced B in this cup except for Twisted Mansion, which is Expert A on the rank. I'll tell you what that lines up to, but I don't want to count backwards. That's a little bit of a... I'd probably confuse myself with it. Toad's Turnpike is a hard track. There's a lot of ramps that I feel like I have no idea how to take effectively. This is another old time. I think I just used Inkling Boy because I liked the purple that he has. I love the pipe frame. That's my favorite vehicle in the game. It's not the most meta vehicle. I use it on the alternate Nintendo account that I have my no item times on because I didn't have everything unlocked. I like racing as the... I mean, you could see with all my old times being pipe frame. I like how it looks, though. I like the colors. I think they do a good job with the colors. There's a bit more variety than some of the other ones. The Morton has a cool standard car, too, because it's like a dark pink and purple, and it looks really cool. But not Morton, Roy. But Roy is too heavy for my tastes. That's slower. I've learned that. That's faster to... I don't think there's a shroom spot, so I think you typically just cut off the corner going the non-boost panel way. I just thought they're the same. Boost panel's quicker, but I was very wrong on that. That's what I get for watching, though, like a lot of YouTuber shorts, because that's where I learned stuff like that, is watching like Shortcut of JP Gibner. And even the Mario Kart World is the game right now. There's still all the old, things on that. I feel like I'll eventually start playing World more. I like some of the stuff you can do. It's just a lot to learn, and I think this game is quote unquote easier because you don't have some of the like crazy tech. You don't have the shortcuts, and I mean there's still a lot of button movement because it's Mario Kart, right? But it's not these crazy shortcuts and all the, like, I guess you'd call it what you'd call tech. So I feel like this is easier to learn. And then as I get better at this, it'll probably translate immediately to Mario Kart World. I just have to get used to the handling because I know the handling's a little bit looser. Wii is a different animal. I like Wii because you don't have any coins or anything. And it's, in a way, it's not easier, but I like that there's almost less to worry about. But Wii's got all the crazy shortcuts that are glitches, very precise, and I'm less comfortable with that. We'll see if I start playing like Wii or something though, because I've always considered Wii my favorite of the Mario Kart games. This is a newer time. Proud of it. I think it's pretty good. It could be better, but it's pretty good for my level, I think. I gotta water up. I hope I can do this in one take. If not, that's fine. Does the record take that shortcut immediately? I think I watched the record, and the record goes for the mushroom and then gets those coins, and then the next 2 laps when you don't have to go out for coins, use the mushroom there. I know I do this glider a lot better lap 2. I went way too wide, and I kind of just went into the bushes. I know if you bump that wall, it'll kind of keep you in a good position, and you don't go way outwards like that. It is hard to get tricks off of these. Like I can usually only get 1 at max. I think it's the first one I get, and the second one I never end up getting. I know I do have the option to shake if I want to with the Pro Controller. But some of these are just frustrating. Frustrating trick spots. Yeah. So that keeps you, as you hit the wall, it doesn't send you as far over, so you can get a better glider. I forget if I'm motion glider on these or if I'm not. I feel like I cut that kind of close. I always take the left because the next turn is a left turn, so to me it makes more sense. I can be inside for this instead of coming in from a wide angle. I enjoy this one. This is another one that on, like, if I went and did a Mario Kart tier list, I don't think I've ever done that on the channel. Maybe I've had once. I might have done it once. And maybe it's something I'll come back to. It's always... I probably do specifically time trial oriented on what tracks I like. This one I probably would put like a B tier. Like, it's a solid track, not my favorite, but honestly I like it a lot for time trialing. This track is fun. I'm not very good at it. Although, admittedly, this is another one that I haven't really played in a long time. So I kind of just, I had a time. I wanted to fill out the sheet, so I had a time. Any track I had a time I didn't go back to. Well, I might have at some point said, I kind of like this track, I want to play it again. But generally speaking, I just tried to get times that were... When I was filling out the sheet, I was trying to do times that I had not completed yet, because there were some tracks I hadn't time trialed. And then most of them were very new DLC, like the last DLC pack, the like Wave 6. And after that, I just tried to go through my worst times. And for me, you know, a lot of the times were intermediate times because I hadn't really put any effort. I hadn't watched any records or something. These are just time trials I threw together when I was less experienced in the game. But they're still good enough to be like Advanced B, Advanced C. I was trying to pick off the intermediate ones. So like this entire cup outside of Twisted Mansion, which I picked up for fun because I just wanted to play. I thought it'd be a fun track to play, or I was just in the mood for it on a whim. But the rest of these, you know, I might like the track like this one, but I had a time down, so I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. So this ends up being one of the weak times on the time sheet, because it's a very old time before I could beat this probably attempt 1 or attempt 2. And the only reason it would take me multiple is because I make a mistake, you know, like I go into the offer or something like this. That's the only way I don't beat my time. But like when I have mistakes like that, it's very easy to come back to, which is why I think a lot of these times next year are going to be a lot better, because you know how many of these stuck. So with a mistake that big though, just driving into the off-road like that, this is probably one of the worst times on the entire list, because not all of them are, some of them are just not as good, not many of them are that. Well, some of them are. There's definitely a decent amount, but a fair amount. but not all of the Rosalina times or equivalent characters are like that. So, yeah, this one's definitely going to go down. Okay, next cup, Advanced B, Advanced A, Expert A, Advanced B. Roar Raceway was one of the ones that I redid because I was just like, I want to get this time better because I recorded this fully thinking it was okay. And not, this is the one where I left my microphone on by accident. And I picked up audio. Actually, real quick, I got a cough. Okay, there we go. This has a mute button, which is cool. I don't like to play this track because it's just a total bagging track. I guess it's sometimes alright. I mean, it is a skill to bag. I can't. Maybe it's easier once you get the hang of it against like good players. But whenever I've tried to bag against like CPUs or something, you know, just for like fun, it never has worked. Even going online occasionally, I don't go online enough that I'm a high VR. So I think my racing skills are probably better than what my VR would tell you if you just look at my VR. But anyway, I don't love playing this track. I think this is way less fun than the original or the custom track in Wii. I don't like it almost feels, how do I put this? Mario Kart 8 had a really big step up in graphics. It doesn't look like realistic per se, but it looks more, you know, it looks much enhanced. But I feel like this track looked really good with like the Wii GameCube look. So having it be, we'll just use realistic because it's easier. More realistic, I think, kind of cuts away from that a bit. I like the tornado that they had originally. I like the Oasis section when it was dry. I liked this section where instead of like a sand pool, it was like different colors to show, you know, like the rings of it going down, you know. I think that just looked better. So maybe if I got a bit better at this track, sure. Why? Okay, I have an advanced B. I mean, this is not a perfect time. This is the definition of me just trying to get my rank up on a track that I wasn't as good at. I'll get it higher at some point, but it's not a priority. My priority is the 5 intermediate and the 14 advanced Cs. But then I might come back to some of these. This is a hard track. I really enjoy playing it. This track is incredibly difficult. I feel like I race it all right, though I'm very inconsistent. That's how I'm doing the shortcut currently. I'm not doing the shroom immediately in that first stretch of grass. I just can't get that shortcut at all. I can't get that shortcut at all without using a mushroom. So currently, yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Normally, you cut off this part of the grass, go underwater immediately, charge up like an orange mini turbo or something. Maybe, no, or it's orange or it gets to purple barely, and then you're able to hop out. But I have no idea how to get my rank down on this track without learning that shortcut, because I feel like I'm pretty solid everywhere else. But that shortcut is just a killer. It is so difficult. And despite playing this track a decent amount and liking it, this is only an advanced A for me. I'm still a second and a half off of the next track, and I have no idea where I'm getting a second of time cut off on this. I tried to download a time that was near me on the leaderboards to see if they did something way different. Maybe they did a way faster strategy, but they're just not as good. No, they do something similar to me, and you know, they're slightly faster, so it's like I don't know what to do. So this was the old time, 2:11.413. New time, 2:03.540. Daisy's, I think, technically a step down from Yoshi. I think it's like Yoshi, Kamek, Peachette, Birdo, Tier 1. And then it's like Peach, Daisy, Mario, Luigi the next year? I forget exactly what it is. Daisy's, I think, not technically top tier. I think she's like 1B, you know? Or 2A type thing, where it's still intermediate, but slightly worse on either mini turbo or like speed or something that, you know, you're losing a little bit. But I was just in the mood for using Daisy when I did these times, so. I was saying earlier, Rosalina was my main originally. Well, not originally. I used Toadette a lot because I like pink, so I used Toadette a lot. I like that shade of pink specifically, more than like Birdo. Birdo wasn't in the game either, but. And then my friend used Toadette a lot, so I started moving off of Toadette. I would sometimes use Baby Rosalina. I'd use regular Rosalina. I'd use Iggy. Dry Bones was my Mario Kart DS, because when you just use the vehicles, Dry Bones had a great vehicle for going off-road. I'm not sure it's like the most meta or anything in Mario Kart, and I think in DS you can eventually make it so any character can be in any vehicle. But what else? Koopa Troopa was my main in Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart Wii, obviously, I'm a funky main. I think the next character I have the most experience in is either... Like, I'll use Rosalina a little bit, but I'll use King Boo. And I'll use Dry Bowser a bit. My 200cc time is Dry Bowser, because that was pre-Funky Kong being added. King Boo is not quite that tier. It's like Wario, Morton, Bowser, Dry Bowser at the very top is like the full speed characters. So it was that shortcut on 200cc is a lot easier when you have a full speed character. This is a much better time than the original one. The original one uses the mushroom at the very end of the lap. Does not get any type of mini turbo charge, doesn't do any type of motion glider here. I think this is cutting off more than that last turn. Yeah, I was cutting off this last turn. So I plan to come back to this track. I enjoy Aurora Raceway. And then DK Jungle. Now, I think I watched the record. My thing with this track is I'm not good at super bouncing. I believe what you do is you drift instead of tricking or anything there, and you get your mini turbo, and then you trick off of the, that's how you get the super, or get enough mini turbo charge to super bounce. I'm really bad at that. That's what took Mushroom Gorge a while for me to get that out of intermediate rank. That's probably what holds me back a little bit, though I know that's not everything on this track, but it is a nice time save being able to do that, and I'm not really good at it at the moment. So that'll be something to practice, because this is a time that can very easily go down. I assume everything that's Rosalina can go down just off of the fact that I'm better at the game. Exception being Mario Kart Stadium, apparently, because I cannot seem to beat my time with that. I think this is a good time, and it's 2 seconds lower. So that one is stuck for a bit, as a Sweet Canyon. But these are definitely times that I could get down. I think the record shrooms through this shortcut, or like starts the shroom early and then goes through it, and maybe the shroom boost is not there once they go off the ramp. I know that's the case in GBA, or not GBA, SNES Ghost Valley 2 and Mario Kart Wii. You do your shroom early, you get just enough momentum to cut off some of the gap. When you take the shortcut, there's a little, it goes out to the outside and there's a ramp, and you can take the ramp without a mushroom, but you can cut off more with a mushroom. But if you use your mushroom and then trick, right after that, you get way too much air. So use the mushroom early and you have just enough boost when you hit the ramp, but it lets go like midway through, and then you can cut the turn a lot tighter. I think it might be, I'm not sure if it's that exactly, but I think they shroom before they go through the off-road. I just kind of go through the off-road and save my mushroom. Except I don't use my mushroom because I never know where to use my mushrooms, or there's not an obvious spot, so I end up not using mushrooms. That's why, if you'll notice, some of these times don't use mushrooms. That's the reason why. Which is why I kind of like doing no item time trials, because I don't have any stress about where do I use my mushroom when it's a not obvious track. But I think that's where it uses on every lap. That, or it is a mushroom to start lap 1 and then uses it in that spot on the other 2 laps. Sunshine Airport, I was putting a good amount into this one. This is Expert A. The rest is Advanced C, B, and A in order. I still have definite places that I can improve on this one, but I enjoy playing this one a lot. I'd put this one probably in my top tier of how much I enjoy time trialing it. One of the other reasons I wanted to do this too is, like, I'm obviously not a high-end player, as you've seen from some of these times. Like, I've obviously gotten better with the newer times you see, but I'm not a crazy high tier player. I've only been playing a little bit, and even then I didn't play a lot of the latter half until like November, and I got this new computer that I could really record with my capture card. Good enough quality. I'm not going to pretend this is amazing quality or anything, but it's better than what I had. It's not crazy pixelated. Again, I'll try to remember to put that unlisted video if you want to go check that out. It looked a lot worse than this, but I also think it's good not just to show growth, but like if somebody else wants to play, even if it's not Mario Kart 8, you can see, if you put time and effort and you learn, how far you can get. And I think that's cool too, so maybe it'll inspire some of you guys to play more Mario Kart if you're Mario Kart fans or time trial. Or just try to get better if you want to get better at the game. This time, I forget what it was like originally. Like if I went back to my original when I inputted these times, this was one of the times that I hadn't updated. I just wanted to play Sunshine Airport, which is why it's a newer one now. I do not know what it was at. I can make guesses. I think it was over a 210 somewhere, so I at least cut 4 seconds, I believe, off of it. 3 or 4 at the very least. You'll notice too on the Yoshi times, I bounce my Yoshi colors a lot. Sometimes it'll be more themed, like Twisted Mansion, I did white Yoshi, you know, ghost colored. I think I've got orange on like Sunset Wilds or something, or I think it's Sunset Wilds. I think I have like orange Yoshi. I use red a lot. I like red. I like the blue too. I like a lot of the Yoshi colors. I think white, orange, and yellow are my least favorites. Those are the ones you'd see the least of. There's a crazy glider at the end of this one, but I do not know how to do it. I think this also falls into one of my weaker Rosalina times. I don't know exactly how much I'll be able to improve it, you know, like if I start playing, because water physics are a bit harder. That is one of the things I didn't like about Mario Kart World. I have it. I played a little bit, not often. I played a lot when it came out, and I did a lot of like the P-Switch stuff. And I time trialed some tracks. Mainly Dry Desert and... No, this is Dry Desert Hills. Desert Hills and Sweet Sweet Canyon. I really like Sweet Sweet Canyon in that game. I hate it in this game. I think it's a lot of fun in Mario Kart World. They're not like... Well, there's a little bit of tech in... There is a input-heavy wall thing in Sweet Sweet Canyon World, but I hate how the water handles. It's so uncomfortable. Like, sometimes it's alright, but sometimes it's just frustrating. I know it's one of those that you get used to it and it gets better, but I haven't wanted to learn that yet. I haven't had the patience. Do I even do a great... I guess I do an alright job on the top of the eagle. I love this part and how the music with the saxophone when you come out. And it's cool looking back and looking at this, how like it's a whirlpool. It's really sweet looking. And this is some of the best music in the game, so I don't think this is a track that I'd totally just be like, nope. Honestly, the ones that are like that for me are tracks that I just think aren't very good. It's tracks that combine some of these things, like, yeah, water's not my favorite physics, anti-gravity's not my favorite physics, off-road isn't always my favorite physics, sometimes it is, actually. Off-road can be really fun. But, you know, you combine that with a track that I find like a little bit boring or has like really weird turns. If you can guess which track that is, put it in the comments that I'm talking about. There's one specific one that I'm naming without naming. I think learning the shortcut on this one would be really cool. I think that'd make it a lot more fun. I noticed the screen caps are a little blurry looking. I took them on my Switch and transferred them to my phone. I don't think they're 1080 though, I think they're 720. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but I believe that's the size they are. Awful job of getting coins there. This one is a bit newer, but it's not crazy new. And does the... I forget, do I even use mushrooms in this one? Because I think that off-road section at the very end is pretty long. Though I know you can hold your mini turbos into the off-road a little bit and it won't kill them. And then you can shroom. And then when the shroom lets out, you have a little bit of time before it kills it as well. I know a lot of people want to go for the coins. And I know there's a Genswall glider on this track. That's crazy. If you guys don't know what Genswall glider is, look it up. I know there's probably some people who are just casual Mario Kart fans who maybe watch my channel for Beyblade and watch this video. Look it up, it's really cool. Obviously, anybody who is a little bit more experienced with it knows that already, but not everybody does. I don't expect everybody to be hardcore Mario Kart 8 players or anything, or fans. I mean, I'm not even. I wouldn't consider myself that. I'm not near at the level of a lot of these super high-end players. It's crazy to watch them, honestly. There's a part of me, though, that with the setup I've got, I would kind of want to play a little bit more of, like, Wii and stuff. Because I've always loved Wii. But I'm not great at Wii. I think it might be fun to go back and kind of learn Mario Kart Wii. And as I get better at this game, then maybe we'll advance into World a little bit. A little bit late to the party, but I'd rather play things I like and I'm enjoying. I really enjoy playing Mario Kart 8 still. I like how it plays. My biggest complaints with Mario Kart 8 are honestly, I don't love going for coins, which you'll have to do in World 2 a little bit. It's not as extreme, I don't think, but... And, I kind of like the old graphics. This feels like, to be honest, it's kind of a middle child, especially with the DLC, because it's a little bit lower. It's not as good-looking textures. They're a bit more cartoony, which I'm fine with because they gave us 48 more tracks for half the price of the game. But World looks better, like it's prettier, and I love the old, like the Wii look, you know, and kind of GameCube too, because I think GameCube looks a bit similar to Wii. But this one is the one that's on my Switch, and I think this one is a good one to start with too, especially with Mario Kart World being out and handling similar. Because I think this one is, in a way, I think it is input heavy, but I think it's not, it doesn't feel as tech heavy, because there's a lot of small things like soft drifting, but you have to do that in every Mario Kart game. And you can live without doing I think you can hold your mini turbo and let your mini turbo go off. And I think you can also drift upwards and land just in the water here, and that's a bit faster. You don't have to do Gen's Wall Glider, you know? If you're doing online, you're not going to motion glide. And I don't think, like, you absolutely have to Kusan slide unless you're at the highest level, you know? Like, things like, small techniques like that. But there's no, like... I just don't feel like I'm as good as a player as, like, the very tech-heavy stuff. And even the tracks that in this game that you consider tech-heavy. Or, like, let's take Mario Kart Wii. You know, DK Summit's one of the hardest tracks, and Waluigi Stadium 2, which are both in this game. Because it's, like, anything minor, you think you can do an input correctly, and it's wrong, or it just has to be so precise at the precise angle, and if you don't do that, then, you know, there you go, there goes your time, right? It's one of the hardest tracks to play. DK Summit for life, Blake. One of the, I mean, I think he is, not he's bad at the game, but he's mainly a DK Summit specialist. Like, that's what he plays the most of, streams. And it took him like a year to get the record back, because you just have something go wrong somewhere. And in this game, that is easily, DK Summit and Waluigi Stadium are two of my worst tracks. I enjoy playing them, but I'm not good at them. I need to get better at the double cut, because I'm very rusty on that. Okay, let me check the times here. This is Advanced C, Advanced B, and Expert C. If you want to look at it, technically speaking, God is the highest. It's rank 1, but if you want to inverse the order for ease, because it's probably a little bit easier to think of rank 1 as the lowest, right? Like A, B, C, D, E, and goes up, right? If you consider rank 22 to be the highest rank, right? And rank 1 being the starting rank, not like top of the world type thing. Advanced, what's this one? Advanced C is rank 7. Advanced B is rank 8 out of 22, so not crazy high up there on the list. I think you shroom and cut that. I think you shroom, hold your mini turbo, and then get a little bit of motion glider. I know basically everywhere it's faster to hold your mini turbo and let the glider release it than tricking or letting it go beforehand. I know there's also crazy stuff you can do here with like starting your drifts. I'm awful at this track. This is a track that I do not see myself playing much of. It's one that I will play only to get my rank up when it's lagging behind. And I guess technically speaking, this is an advanced C, so this one is lagging behind because I've only got 5 that are in the intermediate rank in total. And I know there's easy things like holding that, getting the motion glider and holding that mini turbo right there that I can do. Use my mushrooms. These are easy things that I can implement to get cheap time save and get myself up. I think one thing I do like about driving 8 though, like I could say how it's not my favorite graphically or something, and how much I hate coins, but there's a lot of things I do like about this game. I love the drifting. I enjoy the outside drift. I feel like it's dirt racing where you're just drifting and sliding along. It feels, there we go. I still tricked, but I at least did my mushroom there through that. it feels like sometimes you're on the very edge of control. Like you're truly on the ragged edge. You're on just at the brink, and holding that, barely making that turn, is such a satisfying feeling. And I don't think you get that in Mario Kart Wii with the inside drift. I don't think it's quite the same as, when you feel like you're barely holding on, because you feel like you have more control when you play Mario Kart Wii, since you're doing inside drift. I mean, there's inside drift in this game, but it is not the same. It is not the same as Mario Kart Wii's inside drift. Is that even the right place to use the mushroom? I have no idea. I think I got both of those. I don't know how to play this track, if I'm being honest. I might have watched the record. This is a Yoshi time, so I came back to it and got a little bit higher. I spent my time, after I put in my times, like I said, getting the really low ones out of, like, intermediate. I had some in beginner, too, even, when I first put down a lap. Like, this is me not knowing how to play a track. I think this is still on that level, where I played it again. This isn't a Rosalina time, but this is far from a good time. If we are ranking my times by, like, 1 to 5, 1 being amazing times. Actually, let's rank S through D like a tier list. This is a C tier time, is what I'd say. That's easier. It's not one I've put any effort in, but it's better than a Rosalina time on paper, because I at least have come back at a higher skill level and played this track, as opposed to whatever I was in probably 2023 or something, or maybe 2024. I don't know. I didn't really start playing this until either late 24, I think, or 25. Like, I'd play with a friend. We'd go and mess around. I've got a stream a long time ago when I first got the scavenger card. I have another older computer that I think we played the game on. I'm not sure if the quality is quite up to par that you'd want, but we do bombs only with the CPUs. I think that'd be fun to do, and I need to do that with World with them, because that would be pretty fun, I think, because there's way more players. But anyway, so I've got, like, experience playing the game, but I didn't really start time trialing for a while. It was, watching. It was mainly, it originally started with watching Enmead, and watching that RTAT series for, like, the couple months that, there was other people in the community who helped out with that series too. I think, like, maybe, was it Awoken and Technicals, maybe? Did some of the narration, along with Rod. Anyway, lately, I know last year it was, Logan, who's a top Mario Kart Wii and World player, if I'm not mistaken, did a thing on the God sheet, and the God standard, and his grind to get God standard, and going over, like, other Mario Kart games. And now IDK Maniac, who streams on Twitch, does a little bit of YouTube as well, and puts the VODs on YouTube, which is cool. I'm not much of a Twitch person, so I do appreciate that I can always go and watch, like, a VOD or something if I want to watch some Mario Kart. Anyway, he's trying to go for a God, and I'm not anywhere close to doing that in Mario Kart 8 here, with this maybe unofficial sheet. But, that especially started to get me to, like, okay, I want to see how high I can take my sheet, Watching Enmead on his Mario Kart 8 sheet. Yeah, that was a Shroom Blaze. He talked about, how much you want to focus on tracks. Do you want to be able to be good at everything or really specialize? And I think where I line on that is I want to be, I don't want to spend a ton of time playing tracks I don't like, but I want to play them enough that I'm not just comfortable, but they're not dragging my sheet down. Because the other thing is having consistency on your sheet. You can have one time that's really, really good, but if the rest of your times aren't very good, then, you're really just a true specialist at the track, which is still impressive, but I'd like to be a little bit more than that. So, I'd like everything to be long-term, at least. Hero, probably, at minimum. At least, I definitely want to get everything to Expert this year, I think. Or most tracks to Expert. I'm not going to say I'm going to get DK Summit, Waluigi Stadium. I think it's Squeaky Clean Sprint, DK Mountain, and Coop Cape are my other intermediate level tracks. We'll see when we get there. But, I'm not sure I'll get all those up to a high rank. Oh, you know what? Let me turn this light on. I've got a light that colors. I might at some point pause this and go check my webcam to see how everything looks as it gets a bit darker. The light, if I don't have this, the light will look really... It doesn't flash quickly, so I wouldn't say, like, flashing light warning. It's not flickering or anything like that, but it looks better when there's a white light on as well, giving a bit of light, and then you kind of see the change. Because otherwise it is like full red if it's dark. It's, you know, it's full red, full blue, full green, full, you know, what, all the colors in it. So don't quite want that. But I realize it's probably gonna get a little bit dark, so I'll check that to make sure my webcam still looks good at some point. It'll just be a quick pause, really. I'll probably cut that out of the video too, but I'll do it between tracks. Maybe at the DLC break, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC break. We'll see. It's 5:24 as I record, so I probably got about, like, it's light outside, but the sun's going down. 41,923. I think this track's pretty fun too. I like Music Park. I know I haven't always gone on with some of those tracks. I like Sherbet Land. I'm not great at it. I'd like to come back to it. I think it's fun. I like the music. I like the look of it. I think this track and Music Park are both also really fun. So I will come back to this one at some point for sure. I wish you could do the hairpin shortcut. That's my one thing. That's the other thing I don't like about this game is there's like no shortcuts. But that also is part of the reason why I, in a way, enjoy playing it, is because I don't have to worry about, you know, learning some shortcut that sometimes is really hard, because most of the shortcuts aren't too bad in this game. But like Mario Kart Wii, you know, you've got all the glitches and stuff, and some of the other cuts. Like even if I'm not doing, even like Grumble Volcano, for a record, you don't do the rock hop because it's technically, I think, falls into glitch category, but there's a glitch on Grumble Volcano. So, but like those are incredibly difficult for me. You know, I think it's harder to do that than like most of the things in this game. I don't want to make it sound like this game is too easy, you know, or anybody playing at a high level. Like it's a different skill set, I feel, you know, I guess how you put it. I definitely don't want it to seem like I'm saying, this game is easy, you know, or anything like that. This track is good too. I'd put it in a tier perspective, I'd put it in B, time trial wise. This time is probably a B or probably a C or a D. Because this time is a no Rosalina time can be that good. You know? I know you can super bounce here, don't know how to do that. Yeah, okay, this is easily like a D rank time on a tier list scale. Yikes. I feel like in a way the tier list scale is easier, because when I talk about the ranks, you know, as 1 through 22, but 22 is God, you know, if I start to go 1 is in good, then that gets confusing, so. Tier list ranks are easy, everybody can understand a tier list rank. And not get confused between which side of 1 is good or not, you know. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1's really bad, but you can also look at rank 1 as the top rank too, right? So. It's a bit more confusing though, like I said, to go through the standards in like reverse order. Just because I have to think of, instead, it's not even like, because there's God at the top, right? It's 22, 21, 20, not 21, 20, 19, you know, as divisibles of 3. They're off 1, so that makes it a little bit more confusing. I have to manually like think to myself, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go through them. Oh, this cup. This track is Advanced B. Bone Dry Dunes is Expert C. The other two are Advanced C. I think everything in this cup is probably on the list of I'll come back to it, because even though this is, you know, Advanced B, it's not as low as some of these other ones. Like, there's clear mistakes in this, you know, going off the walls and stuff like that entire, what was it, beginning of lap 2 or beginning of lap 3 before the cannon? So, my friend, Mike has mentioned, he liked this track a lot, so I started playing it. Otherwise, this is one that I would stay away from, because I didn't love it. It's very bumpy. It's not just off-road for half the track, but it is bumpy off-road. And on top of that, it's just really hard. It's not my type of track exactly, or at least what I would consider my type of track. As I've said before, I love playing circuit tracks. I think circuit tracks are really fun. This is not a circuit track at all, not even close. But honestly, as I played it, This is fun. This is a great track. I really like it. It's completely risen in both the tier list as just overall and also on the scale of time trialing it. So I'm not good enough to purple mini turbo that immediately and charge up an orange mini turbo and take an orange mini turbo through the cut. I kind of need all of my pink to get through the cut there, but I'm proud that I can at least get through it because I don't think that's something that's automatic or particularly easy. I don't do it lap 1. I originally was trying to do it lap 1. I was like, I cannot get a mini turbo long enough to really get through this effectively. It's just slower. You know, eventually I'll plateau and I'll have to learn that. That's what the record does, you know? Not that I'm going to get to that level anytime, right? But eventually, if you plateau, you're going to have to learn faster strategies. But, like, right there, I got through that quick. But I feel like I still need all of that purple, and I'm not consistent enough. So I hold the purple out and take that to get through the first turn there. I do like off-road sometimes. Yeah, off-road sometimes. This track is really hard, but it's very fun. I think Neo Bowser City is really fun. I don't think all of the off-road tracks are very fun. But this one is very fun. Very challenging track. That being said, this is still only an expert C is what I said? Yeah. Where is it? There it is, expert C, yeah. I guess I came back to this one. I don't remember I came back to this one. I guess this must have been one of my really bad times. Because, like I said, I didn't really come back to any unless... there was some I was in the mood for, and I was like, I'd like to play this track again, because I like it, like Royal Raceway, Sunshine Airport. This is not one of them. I don't really care for this track at all. I think Mario Kart World Bowser's Castle is better. A lot better. A lot more fun. That was risky. That was dumb to go for that side, too. I know there's like a gap here you can do on 200. I don't think you can do it on 150. I don't know if it's the same thing where you bump the wall and do motion glider. I'm also surprised I didn't just cut through that. Do I not use a mushroom or something? I kind of wonder where I use the mushroom. I snake too widely. I don't soft drift my snakes, and I need to get better at that. I think it's just force of habit, honestly. I gotta unlearn it. I haven't played a lot since the year started, though. I've just played a little bit. Though I played enough while I was recording this video about 10 days ago before my fan... Oh, that was the delay, by the way, is my fan. I'm pretty sure the bearing just... It was, from what I'm aware, there's multiple bearings you can have in fans in your computer. And this one, the CPU fan, was one of the lower quality bearings. And from what I read, when your computer gets hot, they can sometimes fail and cause a sound. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because with a new fan, there's no sound. And... blanking. Yeah, but it was really loud. Very loud, and I wasn't going to be able to record anything with it like that, so... had to get a new one. Should have no issues now, though. I just hope that I can encode this video. After that, I'm probably going to be done with super long videos. You might see some longer ones, like if I'm, if I do some Mario Kart Online or something like that. I've had some ideas for longer form content. I should not talk about ideas, though, that are not related to this. This isn't the video, though. It is very long. But nobody you're watching this for Mario Kart. I wonder if I get the mini turbo if I get below 2, or at least 2-1. Nobody watching this video. Why have the ATV in this time? I watched it and I'm like, what was I thinking? I think the ATV's cool. I think the standard ATV looks cool. Though it looks kind of funny with these tires. But I think this track is an awful rainbow road, but a really fun track to race. That's my opinion on it. I think it goes too much into the space station theme. Like, I get it, but it kind of makes it seem less mystical. You know, like there are still some rainbow colorings outside of the road itself. But when you have so much of this technology and space stuff, you know, around it, wow, that is an awful attempt to cut. Yeah, this time's coming down too, for sure. Anyway, with all the, even though there's some, like this, you know, all the, like, audience there, you know, how that glows, and when with the cannon there's a glow, there's so much black, you know, on this course, and gray, that it kind of loses some of the mystical feel that I think other Rainbow Roads really have. Like, I don't think the road looks as pretty as, say, Mario Kart 3S's, which is very gradient, you know? I think even Mario Kart N64 and SNES, which came in the original pack, I think Mario Kart Wii is similar to this road, but without the grid. Like, there's a grid, but the grid's colored in the same. It's the same rainbow color, you know, and not, you know, like a hard grid with a hard color. I think being darker in 64's looks better. Like, it fits more with that. And SNES is like really, really, really glowy and looks really cool. This is a track I'll definitely come back to, though. I'm using an awful combination, so that in itself, but I know I've gotten better. Again, things like holding that and motion glider, you know? So this is absolutely one that I'm gonna come back to. I think every track, though, roughly, I'm gonna get a better time on this year. The only ones are some of my high-end times, but even then, I hope that I've gotten better as a player, that I can come back and improve those times, whether that be from being able to do a strategy I couldn't do before, or if it's from just being better at something like soft drifting and just being better at the game, because that's happened before too, or, you know, some of these courses, I was having trouble beating my times, and then I would come back randomly later after playing other courses, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I just took this down by like a second plus, and it's just, I simply got better at the game. I put effort into TikTok Clock, because TikTok Clock is very hard. I think this is one of my weaker times, is why I did it. I got to Advanced C, which isn't even good, in my opinion. The other times in this Grand Prix are Expert C, Advanced B, and Expert C. And that Advanced B is Grumble, which I need to improve on because, I mean, come on, I love Mario Kart Wii. That's how I got into Mario Kart originally. I played Mario Kart. I had Mario Kart DS2, but I not only played Mario Kart Wii, but back in like 2012, I started watching TW98, like way, 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 way back. I'm a very OG subscriber. And seeing custom tracks and things like that, and I was like, that's awesome. And Wii was always the game when I watched Mario Kart content, it was what I watched until I started watching RTAT 120 a lot. Now it's a bit more, you know, Mario Kart. It was Mario Kart 8, now a bit more Mario Kart World. I haven't watched a lot of Mario Kart World. I kind of go back and forth. I don't want to say I hyperfixate, but that is kind of what ends up happening. I want to play one thing specifically, and I switch. It's hard for me to be like, let me play Mario. Like, if I streamed every day, it's hard for me to say, let me stream Mario Kart Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Let me do Crystal Monday and Friday, and then like another game Wednesday and Sunday or something. It's hard for me to do that. I kind of just, I'll be in the mood for something, and I'll be really in the mood for it. Anyway, this track is hard, very hard. I know I said this a second ago, it's very difficult. I feel like when you look at most of my times, like I've got, how many is it? 25 plus 5, 30, 31. I have 31 times that are above advanced rank out of 96, which is only a third. But you guys have seen a lot of these times that are advanced B or advanced C, where I'm hitting walls. So you guys can tell that there's room for me to improve these times with like relatively, like it's not going to be crazy difficult for me to improve some of these times. I don't love this track. I'll play it enough though. I got to Expert C, so I don't think I'm going to touch this one for a while. If you want to talk about a track that I might not improve over the course of the year, that's this one, because it's a track I don't really love. That's Expert C, but I also at the same time could see myself coming in and improving it, because I think the record just cuts through there and doesn't stay in the water stream. I go wide for the stay in the water stream, but I don't think that is faster, so I think I can improve this time fairly easily a little bit. How close am I to the next rank? I'm still 1.6 seconds off the next rank though, so. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Okay, there you go. This is not a motion glider. I'm gonna learn until I'm very comfortable with motion glider, because that is not an easy one going uphill at that angle. I guess I did enjoy playing this track a little bit more than I want to admit though, so maybe I come back to it. But I think I'm going to focus on tracks that my rank is lower on, and also ones that I am closer to improving. 1.6, like if I looked through all my times and looked at what times I'm furthest away from, I have to think that this is one of the further ones, and especially when you look at times that are above the advanced rank, because at the low ranks there's bigger gaps, you know, like maybe beginner is 220, and then the next rank is 216, and then 212, where you would like cut a bunch of time off, and it doesn't get until you're higher ranked, like expert or hero, that you start seeing it be like, okay, every half a second is a rank up, you know? Because as you get higher and better at the game, it's harder to cut time. So the lower ranks cut off when you're at because there's so many, you know, areas that you probably consider more beginner, you know? But as you get higher up, it's very hard to improve these things, so. But this one is expert and like a minute, 1.6 behind, not a minute, and 1.6 seconds behind, or away from the next rank. Most of the ones that are that big are times that are lower on the list for me. Most of the times that I'm in the expert range, I'm not that far away. So with that, I might come back to this one to do minor improvements, but I'm not close to a rank increase on it. And it's not my absolute favorite track, so I don't really think there's much of a reason to come back to it super soon. Grumble, definitely, though. Oh boy. So as I look at the spreadsheet on my phone, after this cup, there is a stretch of literally like a couple of experts, and everything is at advanced A or B. Actually, most of it's advanced A, and then there's a handful of advanced Bs. Yeah, this is a really old time, and this is not a good time at all. Which, I guess in a way, is a little bit embarrassing. I do love Grumble. Grumble's one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart Wii. So, I gotta get this one better, for sure. This one looks really cool. I love the music to it as well. This is the Mario Kart Wii cut. I forget if they do that in the record. I might have looked up the record to see and copied. I don't know. But that's what they do in Wii on the non-glitch one. There is actually an alt category there's one for Grumble with the rock hop. Because if there's no like total crazy ultra shortcut, then the rock hop is what you would have to do. Kind of like the DK Summit double cut, you know, right? But there's a glitch, you know, like a serious glitch. So the rock hop kind of counts as a shortcut, so it's not allowed in no glitch. But there's a faster glitch, right? There's another track that's also like that in Mario Kart Wii where it's DK Jungle Parkway. There's a shortcut skip that I think is not allowed online because it messes with I used to see people play it back in the day, like when I'd watch Mario Kart Wii. But I think nowadays it causes there's an issue with where it places you and messes with the items. So I think it's banned online nowadays. But that's also an alt category. Not really sure there's any alt categories for 8. There's no real shortcut. There's just 115, 200. I do love this track though. I like racing on it. I haven't time trialed a lot to know like what I would consider it as a time trialing track, like how much I liked it. I like how I didn't go back for that shortcut again. I'd probably go for this one up here. No, I don't. There is a shortcut right there where the road was. You can kind of see what points upwards. That is a shortcut in Wii. It's not a known one. I think it's a golden mushroom spot. I don't think you can do it with a shroom, or it's really hard to do with a shroom. So I think it's unless it was just implemented recently, like within the last year or two, and I'm just not up to date. There's no weekly and monthly and meet series going over Mario Kart Wii. It's yearly. Yeah, so I think the gold and the black kind of looks better on this because it's a darker color, and the background being the city lights. I think this theme is a bit more for that type of grid-based Rainbow Road than the Right 8 one. But anyway, back to Grumble. Or I don't know if that's a strategy in Wii. I think it's a golden mushroom strategy is what I think it is. I might be wrong though. This is one that my time is probably better on my no item sheet because I came back to it. That's one thing I also noticed. I'm not going to do a video on that because I do not want to do this again. This was a quite painstaking experience to have to record all these. But because I was starting out from scratch, all of my times are at like closer to my current skill level. I think my average is about the same. But the difference is I haven't focused on any tracks. I was just putting times down. So overall, I've got a lot more, less intermediate. It's just the tracks I struggled with. And I've got a lot more that are probably Expert C, Advanced A, as opposed to Advanced B. But, on the other hand, I didn't really focus on tracks like I have on my main account here. So there's not as many, hero level times. Yoshi Circuit. This is one that I've put a lot of time into. So far, GBA Mario Circuit, Bone Dry Dunes, this one, I put a lot of time into. I watched the record, I was like, what does the record do? I'm going to do as many of those things as I can. So I make the corner cut here. I'm not great at this shortcut. I don't know if I do my shroom too early or what it is exactly. It feels inconsistent where sometimes you don't get a lot of air, which in a way is a bad thing because it's like slow air is what you get sometimes, and that's what it feels like. I'm not good to... The shortcut does not take that, I think, round 1. I think it goes wide, or it kind of cuts off a little bit, but not that much, and gets coins. I do not know how to do that. I think I've tried it a little bit before I stopped playing. I say stop playing. I stopped playing Mario Kart in like the middle of the year, and I kind of was just playing other games for a bit, and then I came back to Mario Kart. Like I said, that's how I play games. I don't stick with one semi-consistently. I stopped playing for long periods. This track is Expert A, which is one of my higher ones. I think I've got 5 hero rank total, and then I've got one that we'll get to in a little bit that I'm very proud of. It takes a little bit to get used to Scooty for me, I think, too. Scooty handles like the Bitty Buggy, but I think the bikes, because of just how they're shaped, they kind of feel just a little bit different than just Bitty does, or Scooty does. So that's like they have the exact same stats, but they to me feel just a little bit different with how I think Scooty sometimes feels like it kicks out a little bit more. It's usually not a long process of getting into, okay, I feel more comfortable with this again. I also like Teddy though. I like Teddy Buggy. I know that's like the big online combo. I like Pipe Frame too. Honestly, if I do an online series, I'll probably play a lot of like Pipe Frame with characters I like, until I get to a higher rank where I feel like I need to play like super hardcore Teddy Buggy. Oh, this cup. So that was Expert A. The next two, this one and the one after, are Advanced A, and then it's Expert C for the last. After that, there's one Expert C Warriors Goldmine, and everything else is a mix of Advanced B and Advanced A. So, I'm not going to go and say that until we're at the end of the thing. Goldmine is Expert C, and Big Blue is above Advanced rank, and everything else is somewhere in the Advanced range. Advanced B or A. So there's your thing until we get there. I'm trying to keep you guys updated, but I think saying that they're all Advanced B or Advanced A is more than good enough for you guys to just know until we get past this section. Oh yeah, Expert C on Mute City as well. I forgot. So, yeah, everything is Advanced A. Until the end of the DLC, everything is Advanced A or Advanced B, except for 3 tracks. Warriors Goldmine, Mute City, and Big Blue. First 2 of which are Expert C. Excite Bike is alright. I know my friend's son played this one a bit though, and he would sometimes be like, hey, I'm getting close to your time. He plays a little bit more like Fortnite and stuff. I'm trying to get Micah's mentions to do more time trialing. He's honestly really good at it. He just doesn't have as much like I enjoy the grind of playing over and over again. Like sometimes it gets a bit frustrating, but I don't get as frustrated with it. I think he gets a little bit more frustrated. So he doesn't do as many, but like he's good. His Bone Dry Dunes, for example, is only like a second behind mine, and I don't think he does the shortcut at all. That first corner cut that I do, that I get through pretty well on laps 2 and 3, like those were a good lap 2 and 3. Did I come back to this? I don't think I came back to this one. I think this is just one that I recorded a little bit before I did this, so I wasn't paying attention. But I don't think this was one of the... I think there was only 4, maybe 5 tracks that I took the screenshots of the old time, and then I ended up coming back through them when I had to... Between when I thought I was good on the recording, not realizing my audio was bad, and there was sounds. That or this was one of them, and you guys can see what I improved my time if that was the case. I know there is a turn skip, though, here. I think there's shorts on it, which is nice, because like the Big Blue, there's a... Before the glider section, the first glider ramp, that last turn on 200, the record cuts off. Like they just drift off the side, and they cut that turn, and it's crazy. I've tried to do it, I'm really bad at it, and that's kind of where I've partially stalled on 200cc Big Blue. And now I don't play 200cc a lot, so I think it's even harder to come back and do that again and get a better time there or improve it a little bit. But there's no like tutorials on how to do that. I guess it's not really worth it because it's only a time trialing strategy, so there's nothing. But I know tutorials on how to do this cut because you can gap jump that, not even just take this mushroom, you can gap jump it. And I think that'll be the next step in getting this track up. I think this one's pretty fun. I feel like holding the mini turbo and getting the trick off of the first and the third is better than getting off the first and the second. But that's just me. Like, it feels faster. I don't know if it is or not. I'm kind of surprised this one is Expert C. Man, my gold mine is 0.033 from the next rank. I can get it up. But, yeah, like that is... I slammed the wall. I'm not close to the next rank. I'm 1.178 away, but... I don't like this one near as much as Big Blue. I think Big Blue is amazing. It's one of the best tracks in the entire game, if not the best. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't love anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is not my favorite, but I love Big Blue. Mute City's like mid-tier. It's like a... I'd probably put it either C or B, I think. How much I like to play it. And that's a mix of time trial and online, because I haven't really time trialed this track a lot. So just for playing online, or not online, just playing it casually with friends. That's, you know, where I rank it. Maybe I'll like it more if I time trial it more. Some of these I have a bit more time trialing, and I'm like, I don't like this one. And some of those just like, I'd generally rather play other tracks, so I go play those tracks instead of this one, and maybe I'll play this one eventually, and I like it a lot, but until that day comes, this is one that I don't have much of an opinion on. I know you can do some crazy shortcut, but it's weird because it's like there's a couple places in this game where if you go into like the off-road or something, it like registers things differently. Is that how you put it? I think there's one place that you like can't take shroomless or something like that. Like for whatever reason, it'll cut your mini turbo off oddly. You know, like there's other shortcuts like the Bone Dry Dunes where you can like hop or something. There's like some weird ones where for whatever reason, like you can't take them shroomless, or you have to like time your jumps weird, like different than every other place. This is one of those, and it might be, I forget if it's 150 or 200, but you have to like do something weird to get that one to hit. Leaf tires, I think Leaf are better at anti-gravity. That's why Leaf is used on some of these. Leaf over regular rollers. Well, I looked at something, given that I got the, that I shroomed off the start. I'm not really sure what I watched, or if I just thought there's no good shortcut, or no good mushroom place. I think on the other 2 laps, you mushroom through here, and I might actually do that on this course. I'm not entirely certain, but I might. I don't know which route is faster. I think it's taking the right path is faster. I might be wrong though. I almost went off. Yeah, okay, so I take the right on this. I don't know if it is or not. I guess, again. I'm just guessing. I have no idea if the record goes that way or not. I might be wrong. And for Mario Kart Wii, for the longest time, you would take the left route because that was the shortcut path, I think. Or that was the faster path, but even the Nintendo Ghost might take that one. But it turns out in the end the right is actually faster because you can detach when you're going downhill, like the moon jump. And that is faster than going to the left. But it's very hard to do and it's not consistent. I have a bit of trouble when I take the left path with the boost panels, honestly. That's some of it for me. You definitely aren't detaching on this one. I love taking this. This is satisfying to do. Taking that really, really effectively. I know I said I'm Expert C. Obviously, I'm going to come back to this one because it's not only a Wii track, but as I said a second ago during Mute City, I'm 0.033 from increasing my rank. That's an easy bump to my average, even if it's 0.1, you know? That's the thing too is, you know, there's 96 tracks, which is nearly 100. Let's round that up to 100. Well, there's 100 decimal points, you know, 0.01, 02, 03, etc. Until you get to 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, you know, you count to 100. So basically every rank is 0.01 or 0.001. Essentially 0.01, yeah. Essentially 0.01. Make sure I didn't screw that up, that math up. I think these are really glowy and look really cool. I think they probably would look a little bit better if there wasn't the black grid between them, but you know what? I think it looks better than... It's more saturated and not as super light colors like the Thwomps are. The Rainbow Road 8 is like the Thwomp colored rainbow, and this is a lot more of a saturated rainbow. And I think this looks really, really pretty. I like how I must have been just going through and didn't want to change my combo because I still have leaf tires, and I don't think there's any reason for leaf tires to be used on this. But yeah, every rank up is 0.1, so any little bit counts, especially if it's easy. And given that I'm, again, a much better player since I set that gold mine time, even if that gold mine time is a bit newer than, say, a Dolphin Shoals or Shy Guy, you know, falls we saw earlier. I got no tricks there. Even if this one's a little bit newer, like this should be an easy, or these 2 times should be easy to come back to. Particularly that Warriors gold mine, since that one is really close. But a lot of these I think I can cut a decent amount off of, because you know, as you've seen, like you can tell which times are newer and which times are older, and just by watching these, like the amount of tricks I don't get, how I take turns tighter, how I know how to drift, you know, knowing like when to release my glider and the mini turbos and all that. Like these are going to be very easy for me to cut a lot of time off of. My times currently, this is a 3-hour 25-minute recording. There's 5 seconds for all the clips. This track is interesting. I've never liked this track. When I was watching Inmead's video, he played it a lot differently than me. And I might be coming around to it. I feel like I'd get crazy frustrated with this one still, but there's a part of me that I kind of do want to come back to this one. I think it could be a little bit more fun coming back to it. Like you can go on the yellow route and then you get onto the green route before they flip, and that's faster. So there's some things I think I can do here better and improve this one. So I think I actually am kind of interested in this track, even though I've historically not really liked it all that much. My current overall time is 3 hours, 9 minutes, 14 seconds. So I think I said, I forget if I made a goal of total time. I definitely think I can get under 3. I'm certain with how bad some of these times are. Going into the off-road on some of these, I can easily cut myself down to 3 minutes and 8 seconds and whatever after that. But, or sorry, 3 hours, 8 minutes. I can get into below 3 hours, 9 minutes and into the 8-minute range. So I might need to set goals higher. I didn't want to set them crazy though, because I've never done this before. So I didn't want to set like out there goals, but maybe I should have set a little bit more ambitiously. I didn't realize I'd be able to cut so much time. I was saying the length of this video is going to be around 3 hours and 25 minutes. As we get to the last tracks in the game, I'll try to wrap up a little bit, you know, and like outro, so I can just click off immediately as we get to the end. But there's 5 seconds for each of those clips, and there's 100 tracks, so, you know, 5 seconds. I can do 12 of those is a minute. And there's 96, so 12 goes into 96 like 8 times or something. I think it's 8. 8 or 9 times. I think it's 8 times. So, you know, that's 8 minutes right there, and there's this little bit of the 3, 2, 1, you know, and a little bit, like a second after each time cuts off, so all that adds up to that extra time. I watched the Shortcut video on him getting to World Ride Top 10 on this track. I can't do the shortcut. I think it's a fun track. I'd say it's like A tier. I like racing it, or I like time trialing it. I like driving it. There you go. I like driving this track. I guess there is a difference because, you know, some tracks, again, aren't as fun to race on. It kind of depends on the strategies. I know, like in the when Shortcut ranked the tracks, like he had Cheeseland, because all the shorts about bagging on Cheeseland, and he's good at bagging on Cheeseland. Cheeseland's a fun track to drive too. But like some of these, like I can't imagine Dry Desert as the most fun bagging track in the world. Like I don't think it's that fun to drive on, right? Even. And then it's a bagging track, so add that on. Maybe you like those, maybe you don't. I don't have an opinion on that at this point. I don't play enough online, high end, but I like driving this track. I can't do the shortcut to save my life. And you saw it lap 1, it was awful. The other attempts are not even, yeah, like what even is that? I feel like this is going to be a frustrating one too, because I know like at the highest levels he was grinding for top 10, right? There's things that can go wrong on that shortcut, but I can't even get it. So I can't imagine getting a place to where I've gotten it 3 times, because I feel like even when I've gotten it 3 times, if I get to a point where I've gotten it 3 times, it's going to be me losing a run simply because I just didn't get it at all, let alone how good or bad it was as a gut. Which is, I guess, the only thing that kind of sucks about this track is, until I learn the shortcut, I mean, there's a very hard limit on what I can do. And it's not very pretty. Got the classic Rod Red Yoshi combo. I know I can do this better. I watched when I was watching Edbeed, he went wide and got the coins up here, and I think that's worth it. So I think if I do that, I can cut a little bit of time off just on merit of having more coins, because I think that's all you need to do. I mean, I get coins pretty quickly there, but I might plateau at 9. And if I go wide in that pink turn, because you get both of those on laps 1 and 2. If I go wide on the pink turn, I don't have to go wide in the blue turn again. Heck, I can probably take that turn inside, because you get 3 here, you get 4 coins there, that's 7, and then you get 3 on the back stretch on the end of the lap. So I think I can get a better coin route, essentially is what I'm saying, and cut some time off this one. This track's pretty crazy though. Like, it's really quick. So I focus on. I'm not sure if there's a particular ideal spot to use that mushroom. I know you can also cut through the grass. I didn't do that for this time, and I'll probably set a time that doesn't do that again, and then once I get to the point where I have to, that's when I'll do it. GBA Cheeseland. I like playing Cheeseland. I think it's fun to drive. I used to really hate it. I do think the creators are a little bit annoying. It's very bumpy like Bone Dry Dunes. It's not an easy track to play at all, but I think it's fun to drive on. That's the most important thing for me, is the track fun to drive. The turns are comfortable. It provides a challenge with the terrain, because some tracks do not have comfortable turns. There's one track that has really uncomfortable turns that I like, and there's one that I referenced earlier when I was talking about other things I didn't like about tracks all the time. But this one doesn't have that issue. I think it turns comfortably. I think I did improve this one at one point, like somewhat recent. Well, this is a Yoshi time, so I think this is one that I came back to. When did I make this time? I do have dates on these. I don't have dates on all the old times, but any time that I came back and did recently, I have dates on. I came and did this one on Christmas Eve. So I played this one a little bit Christmas Eve before I did anything, probably in the morning or something like that. I mean, it's still not great. This is this one of Wild Woods are the 2 advanced Bs, along with Snezra and Burrow. Those are the advanced Bs. As I said, this was all advanced A and advanced B until Big Blue. I definitely think I can come back to this one and do it better. And I think there's some motion glider strats probably on that last glider. I think 200 is where you take that shortcut. I could be wrong though. I think you take the shortcut 200cc, that between the cheese at the beginning of the track. Kind of in that second turn. You have the first sharp turn, and then it kind of like zigzags a little bit, but stays kind of straight, and then you make that left turn, and you can go through the hole in the cheese. I think that's just 200. At least we're smart enough to stay over to the side. Okay, so recording from Wildwoods onward, it's been like 2 months at least since I recorded this. Because originally we had the computer issues, and then I just had a really stressful March, even though I got fixed. So I did not do like anything. I didn't even do a lot of content creation during March. But now I'm back, and I have decided I really want to get this done and uploaded it. It also lets me take it off the computer, which is big. So I pulled up the timesheet. I recorded just this part, and I was like, oh crap, I need to find the timesheet. And then I found the wrong timesheet. I think I know what I clicked on. I think I clicked on my friend's timesheet by accident, because they're both named like copy of or whatever. And I was like, intermediate A. There's no way my Wildwoods or Cheeseland is, whatever, because Cheeseland's the one before this. Both this one and the last one are Advanced B, if I didn't mention that before. And I think I do remember mentioning that there is a string of Advanced A and Bs for a bit. This is Advanced B, and the next 4 are Advanced A. So everything until Big Blue, basically the rest of the original DLC is just Advanced A on the timesheet. By the spreadsheet that I found a long time ago, or months back. So, Rosalina, I wish I knew when all these times were set, but anything Rosalina pipe frame, I've probably mentioned this back in the earlier part, but again, I'm so far away removed from recording that. I know that these are older records though, because I came back and at least improved some of these. If they were really low, I did, and some of them I just sat on, like this I sat on. I love this track. I really should come back to it, because this is a terrible run. I know I could easily beat it. That might be one of those that, like, if I go through and look at what can I easily take down, it's this. This should be no issue. I'm watching it, I mean, you've seen me take some bad lines, some weird angles at things. So, also pray my nose lasts through this video. Has not been very good. Animal Crossing, yeah, so the next 4 Advanced A for me on the timesheet. I have come back to this one. I don't really remember a lot about this time, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't quite remember. I guess I kind of remember racing it a little bit, because I'd go inside here, and then I'd sometimes screw up this turn really badly. But that's all I can tell you offhand. So we're gonna be. When I originally recorded this, I was very much in tune with my times, because I watched all my times when I recorded it. Because I was pixely first, then I thought I muted my mic and I didn't, and then I made settings adjustments. And I think I recorded a 3rd time and maybe a 4th with setting adjustments. And now it looks a lot less pixely, a lot better quality. That was just OBS stuff. I mean, this is a solid time. There is nothing to complain about in Advanced A. At least for me, by my standards. I have 3 intermediate Bs, 2 intermediate As, 14 advanced Cs, 27 advanced Bs, 19 advanced As. So the bulk of my times are between advanced B and advanced A. And then I have 11 expert C, 8 expert B, 6 expert A, 2 hero C, a hero B, 2 hero A, and 1 titan B, and that's my highest. My average is now in the middle of advanced A. Probably collecting some of those lower ones and bringing them up a bit would be what really rises my average into the expert. But yeah, this one I know I came back to. It's a Yoshi Bitty Buggy, so I know this is a pretty solid time. At least solid enough that I was happy with it. Most likely this one was a little bit lower, and I thought I can take this one out, or brew this one up. Neo Bowser City, really like this track too. This track's a lot of fun to race on, or to time trial at the very least. I guess racing and time trialing is very different. Some tracks are not as fun to race on, some are more fun to time trial than they are to race. I think I love time trialing on the circuit tracks. I love driving those tracks. I think they're a ton of fun to drive. That's why a lot of my best times are Mario circuits, different Mario circuits that are not Ace Mario circuit, or similar track Yoshi circuit, right? But in actual playing them, I know those are like heavy bagging tracks. And that's not always the most fun, so. It will be interesting if I ever do a tier, well, I'll probably eventually do a tier list. The question is, how would I do the criteria? Will it be like a time trialing tier list, or would it be a non-time trialing tier list? Because that changes a lot of things depending on how you play. And me and my friend would mess around with just doing custom items and doing bombs only, and then, you know, just 'cause it's fun. But that, obviously, there's some tracks that are really fun for that. Like DK Jungle's really fun for that. I don't think DK Jungle's a bad track to race on either, by the way. But, like, that totally changes everything, because that's easily one of the best, because you've got a really great throwing spot, you know? Yeah, this time looks pretty solid. Obviously, I definitely can get better, because all of it I can get better. I'm not a crazy level player, and now I've taken a break. I've been playing Wii a little bit. Time is a thing, though, so I haven't gotten to play as much as I'd like. I'm still trying to get better at divvying my time up and not being lazy. Because there's times I'm just like, I don't want to get up. Or I want to do something or watch something that takes focus, so I can't just play Wii and have it in the background. Yeah, this is a nice time. Now we got Ribbon Road. This one's pretty fun to play too. The biggest thing is the wavy road is quite difficult. But yeah, it's so weird because I knew before I had a lot to say, but I don't have the time to sit here and watch a 3.5-hour video in preparation to record the 3.5-hour video, you know what I mean? I know this is the part that gives me the most trouble, though, is you can easily screw up and accidentally get a trick when you don't want it, you know, or something like that. Or just have a weird angle where it kind of takes you really far off the edge. Missed that other coin. Probably not costing a lot of time, but costing a little bit of time. Yeah, and I gotta wait until over here to get the last one. Just getting that extra coin would probably bump the time up just a little bit. But all in all, I mean, I'm not seeing anything here. This is another one again, being Yoshi Bitty Boogie that I redid. That was sketchy. That was sketchy. That could definitely be cleaner. But, you know, overall, if I know I came back to it recently, I know it's closer to my current skill level, so. The biggest thing I need to get better at is soft drifting. Really in any game. I'm not particularly good at soft drifting, and that is, I think I could gain a lot of time if I could really dial that in. Get my positioning right for the angle of the joystick. Yeah, I'm not even like trying to trick because I know it'll totally screw me up there. And I would rather make the shortcut than slide off of the shortcut and have to restart the run. But I think being able to maximize tricking there would also be a big help. Sub 156, Super Bell Subway. I used to really hate this track, and now I think it's pretty fun. That being said, I race it, and the lines that I've typically just raced in is very different from the time trial line, if I remember correctly. And we'll go through that here. So this is pretty standard. Stay inside, get the tricks. When I race, I go to the right, and I go up on the top side. But I remember watching like the record or something, and they didn't do that, so I was like, oh, well, we're definitely not doing that. So yeah, it's a little bit different racing to time trialing for me. Maybe some people stay on the low side. Bumped that, it's not the biggest time loss, but when you bonk the wall like that, it'll push you outwards, so. Another one too where I probably should have gotten 10 coins. One thing I definitely want to do is I want to start a series of just so if you follow my channel, I'll occasionally do a video, a thumbnail that just has me in it, and it's usually whatever YouTube auto picks that I think is the funniest one, and that's how I decide the thumbnail. And they're usually just me discussing some random topic that I was thinking about. But I kind of would like to make that more of a series, because I've had a few topics recently that I've been thinking heavily about over the last like month or two, but I wasn't really uploading a lot. I would really like to. I'd really like to talk about these topics. I lost some time there, it looks like, because I think I had the off-road. One of them is differences between like 8 and Wii, and maybe a little bit of World, but not as much World. It's just I guess the dichotomy of one of the aspects, some of the aspects of 8 versus Wii that I find interesting. Okay, Big Blue, this was the original time when I originally recorded this, so I put it there. But while I was waiting, I was doing something, and I grinded the time down, and then I had to re-record because I, fixed things with the quality. So I got a better time, and honestly, I posted that one here, and that's the one that we're recording, because that's the new one. So I sat here, I was on my computer for something, and I was waiting on like maybe a video rendering or something like that. I think I was waiting on a video to render is what it was. And I decided I'm just going to play some Mario Kart and grind a couple tracks down. I thought I wasn't going to record this again, and I did Big Blue, and I thought I can go further on Big Blue for sure. I love Big Blue. This is probably my favorite track in the game. And I just grinded and grinded and grinded, and I was up to like 1 or something, but I finally got this time, which is, this time is my end goal. I could definitely push it down a little bit, because I do not know. I think they do a shortcut differently here is what it is. Does the record do a quasi? I think the record does like a quasi 200cc shortcut that I do not know how to do. So the only thing is that I could think of is if I mushroomed at the beginning, because like on 200, there's only real 2 mushroom spots. So you mushroom at the very beginning, because that just gives you, getting straight to full speed is the best use of the mushroom. And I wonder if maybe doing that would be better than right here, since I've still got 2 mushrooms because I didn't take that shortcut. I kind of go over, both of these, but you're not really going that much further wide on that first one, so I wonder if I could just go a little bit further wide and maybe shave off a little more time. So Paris Promenade, this track has actually grown on me a little bit. I kind of like how simple some of these are, but I'm also not... I like some of the more simple city tracks, because a lot of them I'm indifferent towards at first. I play this, I was like, oh, this is really boring, but as I've like time trialed it, I don't actually hate time trialing it. Could look a bit nicer though. So Big Blue is my Titan B time. This is Expert B. And if I go to the standards for Big Blue, because that's what I really want to see. Oh yeah, I gotta zoom out a bit. That's Big Blue. So I'm Titan B, it's a 126.8, and then I have to get under 126.4 for Titan A, which is a good chunk. I'm barely under the Titan B, so not sure I'm cutting off 0.3 by doing that. I'm not sure where my next time save is. Like, I could shave a little bit off, but I feel like the next thing is like a shortcut on Big Blue. The 150cc version. Yeah, so for Paris Promenade, I came in and time trialed it. It's pretty simple as a city course, and I like that, so I've definitely gotten... Yeah, there's definitely some mistakes here. I think I could get this one down more. I think one I don't mind coming back to, honestly. I don't really know what it is, because my friend hates this one. But it started to grow on me. It's not an absolute favorite or anything, but I think it's pretty fun to race. Once you start learning the angles of the curves, I think it's a fun... Sorry, the time trial. I don't really care to race it. It is pretty fun, though. And there's me putting Motion Glider on, most likely. I've been trying to learn a little bit of Motion Glider, so... My GameCube controller does not connect to the Switch 2. I got just some... It's like a officially licensed one, but it's not made by Nintendo. I got it at a retro game store that I like. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this one is Toad Circuit Advance B. I'll cut this one I haven't done in a while. Probably could come back to this one. I definitely could come back to this one because I doubt that's the fastest. Over to the left there on custom tracks, there's a shortcut because you can shroom and go over the wall, but sometimes you get the invisible wall. I always like doing the ramp without a shroom. I think that's fun, but I'm assuming that is not the fastest way. My lines are awful in this one, so this is going to be one to come back to because I think I can definitely shave time off. Oh yeah, forgot. The spreadsheet gives you how far you are away to the next one. I'm a little bit under a second away from the next one. But I think I can shave a second off of this time pretty easily. I think Toad Circuit's pretty fun actually for a basic track. As I said earlier, I love circuit tracks to time trial. I think they're fun to drive, but oh boy, I think they're really fun to drive. Not fun to race, but they're fun to drive. Toad Circuit's no exception. If I was ranking the beginner tracks, I don't know what Cess's and Game Boy Advances are technically, because they've got a lot of beginner tracks. Like technically, SNES Mario Circuit 1's probably it. But I don't know what the exact first track is, so to speak. Wow, that is... I'm taking interesting... Yeah, this one, I need to really... I'm gonna have to pencil this one in as a let's fix this. Choco Mountain, I definitely haven't driven. I don't really like Choco Mountain in this game. Advanced C for this one and Coconut Mall. Coconut Mall I'm just not good at. I'm 0.061 away, though, from getting my time down, so I probably should beat myself once on that one, but... Choco Mountain I just don't care for. This is one that'll probably only be improved once I'm down to... Once I get those intermediate ones, this one might get improved just off of, well, it's my lowest rank now, Advanced C. But otherwise, I have no interest in playing this track. I don't think it's that fun. I like it more in DS, honestly. I think this one's kind of hurt a little bit by the DLC too. You know, the early DLC packs don't look quite as good. I don't mind the simplisticness, especially given what it was, right? They cost like half the price of the game, and they're really fun to race. And they don't look absolutely awful, but, you know, the textures are very simple and very, sometimes bland. Especially in this first pack, you know, like Toad Circuit with like the grass and stuff. I think this one's hurt a little bit by that, because it's like, well, this one doesn't look near as nice as like the Mario Kart 8 tracks, but like I don't know. Don't sit here and I'm like, ooh, you know, Choco Mountain. Just not my cup of tea. So this time is probably better than the last one we just watched, but not anything crazy. I definitely could knock it down. I mean, I think I'm a good enough player that I can knock anything out of Advanced C. Once you get to Advanced B, there's a few tracks that maybe would be tough to get to Advanced B, but I think most of the tracks I can get to at least Advanced B. And I probably have a higher potential as I play more. And I don't focus on... Yeah, this one could go down. 8's the one I've played the most, but I'll go through stretches of playing other games, or, you know... So it's not like I play Mario Kart 8, you know, monthly, right? I'll go a couple months, take a break, come back. That one's gonna have to be bumped down, though. Coconut Mall, this one I have come in more recently. I'm just really bad at Coconut Mall. I probably would... this is the one track that I might be better at if I play it on Wii. With Inside Drift. I do like the really low tricks that you can get, but I'm not very good at just... I don't know, I always end up sliding wide. I never know exactly when I need to not trick, or... Like, there we go, that's just terrible. So I never know exactly when I need to not trick, or if I just need to get better low tricks that set me up better. Maybe some trick direction. There's a lot of things you can do, so maybe I know some of these things, but I just didn't incorporate them, or I didn't think about them. Because, you know, you don't always. But some of these are just, like, inexcusable. Like, I should not be doing that at all. So, I guess Coconut Mall is going to be a track I have to come back to. Hey, maybe watching this will inspire me to come back to 8 a little bit. Currently streaming Zelda. I was going to do Pokemon, go back to Crystal. It's nice having a bit of a variety, even if I kind of switch around a little bit and maybe not play a game for a month or two. I was really into 8 at the beginning of the year when I was, you know, making this, and then the computer kind of just killed that, because that killed my interest in 8 even, just for the time being. When I had the troubles. And that time I just totally missed a trick. I think I hopped early. I love being able to just clip these like this, though. I think having a better low trick would honestly help on that, like that first lap. Probably be better to go a little bit wider or go inside, get a lower trick. Wish the cars were like they were in Wii. All the Wii tracks get butchered when they get brought back. Tokyo Blur, I have a really good no item time. That's not getting a video. But I have Hero C in this one. I think that one's a Titan C or something in the no items though. But there's a gap between me playing that one on that account and playing this one, so I have not been able to replicate that yet. I would like to though, because if I can get, that time on the no item one, then I definitely feel like I've got much higher potential on this one. Even though a hero time is, that's what I said, right? Is it hero time? Yeah, hero C time is still good by my standards. I don't have any hero rank times. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that I mentioned the standard sheet, but if not, it's beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, hero, Titan, myth in that order. C, B, and A being the highest for each one. They're separated into 3. C being the lowest, A being the highest, and then last at the top, the 22nd one is just God. I'm not sure how official they are technically, but I still think I just like having it as a guide, even if it's not official standards or anything. I know 8 Deluxe was really late on having standards, and I think they were like just officially doing some when I was on like the player page or something like that. But this was something I found on Reddit, so maybe I'll adjust, if there's more official ones that come out or something. I think that was some motion glider there. So yeah, that was a good time. My no item one is really nice though. Shroom Ridge I actually kind of like racing too. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my favorite one to, sorry. It's not my favorite one to race. It's one of my favorite ones to drive. I feel like I should specify that because it is very different to race a track and time trial a track. It's fun. I wish there was more cars. Big complaint with Movie Highway as well. I think Toad's Turnpike does a better job. I just wish some of them were coming in the opposite direction, because I think all of the cars in Toad's Turnpike go your direction, or maybe there is some that don't go in your direction. I forget. But I know that one is like one of the more chaotic ones in 64 with all the cars, and I never thought it was too bad in this one. I like the challenge of having to wind in and memorize the car patterns. Like, why is there no cars in this entire section here? Like, we passed that one truck and there's nothing. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. That's how it is. That's my biggest complaint with this track. But I think its turns are really fun. It kind of races like a circuit track. You got the extra bonus of the challenge of weaving in between the cars. One thing I love about 8, and I guess this would extend to World, I just haven't played World as much, is unlike Wii where it's, very inside drift, being outside drift, I just feel like you're on the ragged edge like this, where you're just coming so close to clipping the wall, and then you don't. And I love that feeling. I only get that in games where you can really slide around. Mario Kart and World fit in that category. MX vs. ATV Unleashed is the same way. You're just sliding around in that game because it's all dirt stuff. Well, I guess there might be a couple tracks that are concrete, but, generally speaking, you're playing dirt on that game and you really slide around. Sky Garden. I think this is fun, but they still butchered this track. I hate how they shortened, all the GBA tracks, but they didn't do anything to the SNES tracks. I mean, to be fair, they still overhauled these in a fun way. I think these are what the tour versions are, but I just hate how they made the GBA ones all these really short things, and the SNES ones, they just did total reimaginings, Even though this is kind of a reimagining, they cut the track in half. So it's like, why are you shortchanging GBA so badly? Sky Garden's an awesome track. And this is still a fun one to race. But I wish we had full GBA, World is really weird, but if we came back after World to just a regular Mario Kart game, I would hope that the GBA tracks and the SNES tracks are treated equally and overhauled in fun ways and not chopped in half while being overhauled. This is an Advanced A, as are the next two Highway New York Minute. I know, was it 200 you can maybe do the shortcut Shroomless or something like that? I don't think Shroomless is the strategy though on 150. And you can hold out your mini turbo. I do think I put on motion glider for this. Say I got the GameCube controller to do Motion Glider, but I just didn't get much chance to play it because there's no USB-C. Though I guess I've got USB to USB-C connectors, so maybe I'll try putting one of those in and seeing if I get the GameCube controller to work for Mario Kart. I know I watched that shortcut video a while ago, but I thought it would be good for like online and stuff like that, you know, to not have to pause the game, you know, to go into Motion Glider. And for soft drifting help, because I'm not as good at soft drifting. So Ninja Hideaway is an awful track for me. I'm really bad at it. I'm really proud I got this up to even just Advanced B, because this one was sitting at like a beginner for a little bit, and then it was sitting at like a low intermediate for a little bit. I'm really, really bad at this track. I don't really like it either. This is not one I think is particularly fun to play. I'd be happy to never play Ninja Hideaway again, probably. I know I'm in the minority. I think a lot of people like it. I do not care for it at all. I do kind of like the colors. And while I normally like tricking, I think this track is a little bouncy too. But I think this one is also one that would look really nice if it was not a DLC track. I do think one thing they did a good job of is things still really glow. Like those trees look like they're glowing even though I'm watching, you know, a recording and not straight off of my Switch or anything like that. They do a good job with the colors kind of glowing even though they're very solid and they're not always as detailed as like, you know, the regular tracks are. I do appreciate to an extent the style, but it still doesn't look quite as good, the simplicity. I kind of wish every track looked like the end though, because I think they do I think they put a little bit more detail into the tracks, the later cups. But yeah, I think this run has seemed fairly clean. It's pretty incredible given where I was on this one. You guys would not want to see my time from the end of last year. I think, well, I actually date my improvements for the most part, so do we go for the shortcut? Yeah. This track, December. So yeah, you wouldn't want to see my pre-December time. It was really bad. Took me till that lap to get the last coin. That's one of the things, if I get that coin, you know, I'd save a little bit of time. There's a cool 200cc cut. You can drift and cut off like where that tree is and land around the finish line. That's really cool. I'm not good at 200cc though. I'm not a 200cc player. Here's New York Minute. I think I liked this one more earlier on. And now I'm starting to be like, this track is alright at best. Part of that though is, again, I time trial more than anything. So I value how much I like racing a track, and I just don't care to... I think this track's alright to race. I think there's a shroomless cut there, but it's really weird because of how... there's something with how the game goes, and it, like, doesn't, it doesn't, like... It's weird. Like, you hit the off-road and it, like, cuts your mini-turbo or something weirdly. Just some weird game mechanic that makes that really awkward shroomless. But I think that's just kind of the mushroom spot in a time trial like this. I feel like I could get better at snaking too, because I have a habit of just going harsh back and forth. And if you don't go harsh back and forth, you don't turn as much, and that can make snaking, I think, better and not go sliding into the walls like that. I gotta get my coin. I feel like I lose something here, maybe? Yeah, I bonked the wall. If I don't bonk the wall, then... No, I'm still a second and a half from the next one. SNES Mario Circuit, I think... Is this one I improved? Okay, maybe not. When did I improve this one? This is a Hero A track. I did this one, yeah, this was one of the ones I improved. I improved it January 10th. This year. It was a green Yoshi time before. Now, I'm trying to remember what exactly I did, though, that led me to this improvement. Because I can't imagine it's just I was playing it again and then suddenly, I mean, it might just be I was suddenly better, but I thought I figured something out on this track. Like just a small improvement that I could make that bumped my time up. I've got a screenshot, but I'm not going to try to find it on what my time before was. But I think this one was just an expert A before. It might have been the way I hit that turn. I think I might have gotten my drift a little bit better on both the shortcut and also that just small little turn skip there. I think the way I was getting my mini turbos and stuff, I think that's where it came from. Or might have been where it came from. Maybe just taking some better lines. But I don't think it was taking better lines, honestly. Yeah, I kind of go wide and then cut inside, and it gives me that orange more consistently. Because I think I was having trouble getting consistency there. I still think I could do that shortcut better. The big one, but I'm not going to complain about getting a 135-11. Calamari Desert, I hate this track. This is one of my least favorites. It is a advanced A, and given that it's an advanced A, I have zero interest in getting this one higher, really. Only way I'd do it is if it was a really easy improvement. And yeah, I'm a second and a half away from the next, from expert. So, no. This is one that's going to sit for a while. If we assume my average Mario Kart 8 playing a year, you know, playing it for a few months, like let's say we play a half the year or something like that, or even just a fourth of the year, but I play consistently, you know, this is one that's definitely not getting touched. Yeah, so I know I barely didn't get in there. That'd be the only thing, is because this time is very flawed, that I might think, well, you know what, because it's so flawed, I might be able to cut off all that time. And maybe if I just want a track that I think could be an easy improvement, if I can just make a good time, this would be one of them that probably is there. Like, I definitely have mistakes that can be corrected. It's just, I don't like playing this track. I'm not very good at it either. I think the turn, what it really is, it's an off-road track, you know? It is a, yeah, it's an off-road track. Mario Kart games like Sherbet Land, for example, you know, you take wider curves, or like a slick road, right? Neo Bowser City, but it's the turns are so awkward because they're so wide. That's, yeah, it's just so weird to play. It feels better playing a track like Neo Bowser City. This one, Waluigi Pinball, is an expert A. I'm 1.3 away from the next level. The Hero C. I did grind this one a lot. I think the custom track or something has a cool shortcut, but Waluigi Pinball, very linear, not really any type of shortcuts, but you know what? I was trying to get my time down, and then I was like, this was just one of those that it kind of clicked with me, and I was like, I can definitely get this better. And I just started playing it a bunch. I do love how this track glows. I mentioned that before. Even though the textures are simple, they do a really good job of having things really glow. And I think that makes tracks like this one look really nice, even if the textures are very simple. Definitely takes a bit memorizing. I had a lot of trouble because I was at a weird spot with the pinball like lap 3. I just copied the record, I think, there, or I slightly copied it. I might have not copied it and did just something kind of similar. But I'm surprised the record doesn't just shrimp immediately on the start. But yeah, this track, honestly, I actually really like playing on it now. Learn that you can hold that out and then let go of the mini turbo really late. I feel like I have to practice a little bit to get back into this one, just because there's a lot of different tech that I'm not exactly used to. Okay, maybe it was lap 2 there, is where that pinball is really tricky. I forget if I forget what the record does. It might go for like double oranges or something like that. There's some things that are just more natural to me and I'm better at, and I'm just, you know, maybe in the future I'll incorporate insert strategy, but for now I'm pretty happy with just going through. Is it an ultra? A mini turbo, super, and an ultra? Ultra's purple, right? A purple mini turbo. A nice tight turn right there. I love how just there, on a track like that, you can walk off the wall. And it just doesn't do anything, you just like get stuck to it. And now it was lap 3. Maybe it was both of them. The pinballs are in really sketchy places. But yeah, I was really happy with that time. Sydney Sprint, this is interesting. It is a expert C for me. I'm half a second away from the next sprint. I love the music on this track. I almost want to not narrate it and just let you guys listen. It's not my favorite one to drive, though. I don't hate it driving or anything, but it's probably more in the middle. But I love the music. So, and I like racing on it a good amount. So, I'd still probably put this one as my favorite tour track. We'll have to see the other ones as they come in. There are some other ones that are pretty fun. Given this is an expert C, I think my time is probably pretty solid here as well. I love these turns. There's another track that has turns like this. It might be Berlin. But I love how they're just banked a little bit. I think that's cool. It makes me think of, like, in a way, like a NASCAR track, where the turns are just banked a little bit, you know? Or sometimes they're banked a lot, you know, depending on the track, but... Because I know, like, obviously Mario Kart is on a lot of different terrain and all that, so there's definitely times where the turns are, you know, weird or anti-gravity, but just those, because they're kind of, like, flat on the outside and just curved a little bit on the inside, just give me that feel. Yeah, I don't have much to say on this time as well. I think it's just a solid time. Could I improve it? Probably. I think I could improve most of my times. There's only a few that I have trouble with. Like, if that big blue time doesn't give me a time save from using my shroom immediately, then, until I learn the shortcut, then that one, there's only a few things that I saw that I was like, that probably would trim down a little bit. But it was overall a good time, and it's hard to get a time like that, so... Yoshi Circuit I've had a lot of trouble coming back to as well. Snowland, I've enjoyed this one more than I used to as well. This is an advanced B. I think I would come back to this one to play more, because I love the shortcut. I think the shortcut's really cool. This is just a neat shortcut. I could definitely get better at it too, because my landing was awful right there. Yeah, Yoshi Circuit was one that was hard for me to come back to. The funny thing is, I actually have a time that had a terrible lap 1. I just kept playing for fun, and then I had lap 2s and 3s that were better by a lot on my record. And if I could have just matched my lap 1 with those lap 2 and 3s, I would have cut like half a second or something off the time. It was crazy. It was a ridiculously good time. I probably do have it in my phone somewhere. Again, I don't want to have to search through that in this. That'd take me completely away from watching the ghosts. But I know that Yoshi Circuit can definitely go down, because I know I've gotten such a good lap 2 and 3. But every time I come back to the track, I've never been able to really replicate. And it's kind of interesting, because I know I've definitely gotten better at the game, and I've gotten a lot of my other times down, like the SNES Mario Circuit time, right? That one just came down, you know, this year. But I just cannot get that Yoshi Circuit time down, and that Yoshi Circuit time is fairly old. I don't think it's the one I made on stream. I streamed a year, like, sometime last year or the year before, 24. This is Advanced C. And I set a time on record on stream, at the end. It's very laggy. You can't really see the time that well because the internet is so bad. But that was when I was first, a little bit earlier in time trialing for me, but I'm really bad at super hopping. I don't like any of these super hopping tracks because I am terrible at it. Mushroom Gorge is way more fun in Park, or we do love the crystals inside here. But I gotta really learn how to super hop before I play like this, or even like DK Jungle effectively, and a few other tracks. This one took a while because of the shortcut. I looked up tutorials on how to do it, and I got a little bit more consistent, but I'm not particularly consistent with the cut. I want to say maybe it's Wii, the non ODB record, the last like the current top funky Flame Runner record. I think might like actually go off to the side and get the boost panel. Might be wrong on that, but I think that might be what they do. See, I could sometimes get it. I think I thought about that like a little bit, like if you came down here and got that, you know? But I think just super hopping straight would be faster. If you could get it. Or if I could get it. Really. I know some of it too is this shortcut's easier to land depending on how you land. So you land really funky or land on the wrong mushroom and this one's another advanced B. When World came out, I time trialed this one a little bit. It's probably going to take me a little bit to get back to that time when I start playing World again. Because I'm going to be going in totally like blind, I guess, so to speak. And I don't think this is a track that had crazy tech in World that was like discovered, you know, anything like that. That's like, oh, here's an easy time save, right? But this track looks awesome in World. Because with like the world, you know, you can see off in the distance like the snowy mountains and everything else. And obviously, going from a DLC track where the textures are very simple, and in this case, I think the colors are kind of ugly. It looks so much better in World. I like the music too. I hate this track though in 8. This is one that I don't see myself coming back to, unless this is my lowest time now, you know, kind of thing. And I'm close to that point, to be fair. We haven't hit any of my intermediate times yet, but I've got 5. So once those are off the board, this and like Choco Mountain will be in that tier of these are my weakest. So maybe, you know, there's some come back to it then, but otherwise I really hate this track in this game. A little bit over half a second off. Down to a 207. Wait, is that what it says, 207? That's gotta be... Yeah, I guess it is a 207. I was looking at the time, I was like, a minute. It's only a minute, it can't be a 207. Yeah, I know, it's definitely 207. Yeah. I always want a trick there, but I get too much air, so there's no tricking out. Or maybe that just isn't trickable. But I know I'm going late thinking, oh, let me get a trick, and then I'm past what point would be a trick. This track is definitely one that really got benefited from World. I do think the shortcut is cool on this one, where you can cut off here. I didn't go for it at all on this, but riding the wall is even cooler in World than the shortcut. Yeah, I gotta get under 207 to get this one up. The London Loop, bad at this track. I think I made a mistake even on this one, like right away. It's an advanced C, and I am pretty sure I screw up like the turn right here. Because I just don't know where I'm supposed to... Yeah, I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And yeah, I just bonked the wall. I could have been a lot worse, but not very good. I am close to getting this one down though, so if I make the same time without screwing up that turn, I'm pretty sure I'm up to advanced B. So that would be why I come back to this track. It is just for that. Just because I know there's a very easy mistake to correct, you know. I just, for whatever reason, this is my least favorite of the city tracks. I just find it really confusing. I just can never get the layout down. I never feel comfortable on it. I don't think there's really any that compare for me of just how low it is on my ranking. Yeah, there's a drift the wrong way. Let's look at the sheet real quick and see. Tour London Loop. So I some Advanced C, 224, 222, 220 are the next ones. So I'm at a 222. So I'd need to get under 220 to get a Advanced A, and under 222, which is just cutting off a tenth of a second, to get Advanced B. I don't really know how much further I'd get on this one, honestly. I'm not good at it. This is the one I just think is really awkward with its turns too. Never feel comfortable wall bonking everywhere. I could definitely get a little bit better to not do that, but yeah. This is one I'd come back to just because the mistakes are blatant, kind of like Choco Mountain, where it's like easy things to fix, so I could, with like no effort, get my time down a bit. This one wouldn't take a lot of effort, but I just think it's just weird to play. Okay, so Boo Lake Expert C. None of these, there's no chunks for the rest of the way, so I'm gonna have to like actually mention where my time is on all these. I love Boo Lake. Oh, is it this one or Broken Pier? I think it's Broken Pier. It has the mountains with little faces in the original GBA one. And I always loved that. This is not that track though. Another one, technically speaking, they shortened it a lot, but I do think it's fun. Don't twist me not liking that or complaining about that as these tracks are bad or anything. I think a lot of these are really fun, and I could see why you wouldn't want fully long ones. I just hate how the SNES tracks are the full long ones, you know, and not the GBA. Like, why are you changing just one of them? Not both. And I think some of these tracks are really fun too, like they're full versions. Like Sky Garden is a really fun track in its full version, so I hate playing one that's so short. But I love this track. This is one of my favorites in the game. I think this shortcut's really cool. How you can basically go off the side and get really low air. This is one it's going to be tough to come back because you got to get the shortcut. And I'm not really consistent with the shortcut. The end one, not this one. I'm not very consistent with it, but that's kind of the way to get it. So if I have even a better combination, you know, like a more meta combination, if I don't do that shortcut, it's not going to matter. But Expert C. Rock Mountain is a Advanced C. So not a particularly high track. It is peak allergy season, guys. Fun. Yeah, this is another track where you really see how just simple, like, the textures are. I do think it's got a really great soundtrack, though. I think it is a pretty fun track overall, but I don't think it's my favorite ones to time trial. I think I prefer racing this one more than time trialing it. But when you have mistakes like that, this could be another one that it's just, this should be an easy one to come back to. That being said, I'm a second and a half away from the next rank, so I would have to make a lot of changes probably, unless my mistakes here cost me just a full second and a half, which is possible. Very possible. But I'm not super close, like Coconut Mall or something like that, where, you know, fixing one mistake and even having a flawed run would bump me up a little bit. Obviously, any improvement is good, but I always want to try to get a rank up in a track, you know, like move up from Advanced C to Advanced B and not just cut my time. When I have a better time, you know, those ones that are expert and higher, then I'm a little bit more like, hey, any improvement's good. Especially if it's a track I played a lot, you know, I'd just be happy to get an improvement on Yoshi Circuit. Which, by the way, as I mention that one again, Yoshi Circuit, I'm half a second away. Okay, I thought I was a little bit closer. I'd love to get that one up to a hero rank, but I don't think I'm half a second of improvements, easy improvements. There's a few strategies that I just am not good at and I don't do, so. This track I think is just cleaning things up, but it's another one where it's just so wide with its turns, it's kind of weird. I think it is still a Yoshi track, because I usually check the record before I come, and I'll, you know, mimic that combo. I'm not going to handicap myself, but this one's just really weird. Any track with like these wide turns, it's just awkward to me. Okay, Rock Mountain. Next is Maple Tree, Expert B on it. I'm kind of surprised that I have Expert B, but I guess I came back to this one. Yeah, Yoshi Bitty Buggy, so I definitely came back at some point. This one is really cool on Wii. I think Demon has both records. I know he's got no glitch, but I think he's got glitch too. I think other people have had glitch, but Demon's I think currently has the record and has had it for a while. But on the no glitch, there's a turn skip, and I'll show you guys where it is coming up here. On Wii, you can drift off of the right there and turn skip there, and it's quite difficult. Demon is, I think, has it a 2 for 3 maybe, or maybe he's the only 3 for 3, I forget. But the next closest person behind him is like 2 seconds, and on a non-glitch, that's like unheard of, you know, at this point in Mario Kart Wii's time. So, very hard, but I think he's had that record for a really, really, really long time now. It's definitely over 1,000 days, but I think it might be the longest, or one of the longest, like, records at this point. I think at least it's been there for 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, everything, looking at this run, has been pretty solid. Always have to remember you can't trick up on this here, because that feels like a trick ramp, but it's not. I think I went up there for coins, most likely, or I just mimicked the record. Because I do not think the zippers are particularly faster. There's some funny zipper records. There's a video I got, me and my friend playing, and he, I think he knocked, like, Isabelle off the edge or something, and it's just really funny to watch, because you just see her just go, doo. Like on the replay, because it gives the different angles and stuff. You just see everybody racing, and then you see her just go off the side, you know, instead of off the ramp. Or off the glider. Actually, since we played Coco Mall, I forgot about this too. There's another one where absolute CPU moment, Waluigi, like, for some reason. I forget if he hit something or he's just being a CPU, and the CPUs kind of suck at some points. When they're not rubber banding, they really suck. Even on the hard, quote-unquote, harder difficulties. And that fountain, when you go into the mall, you go up and then you go down, right? And there's that fountain between the down and the up escalators. Berlin Byrays, real quick, is a Expert B. I actually kind of do like driving on this one. A Daisy record is probably one that got this year as well. So let me look at that. No, 11-19, never mind. I came back, I think I got some Daisy records on, well, you guys can, well, early in the video, because I know I did a few, there's a few regular tracks that I said I redid, and coming from this watch through, it was Big Blue, but I know, like, there's a few other ones that were earlier in the game. This is the kind of banked corner, but not really, it's just one's lower, one's higher. But I know, like, Thwomp Ruins also. But I thought I did some of those with Daisy. Anyway, I like this track. It's not my favorite. I'm not sure how much I like racing on it exactly, but I do think it's fun to drive. I like the cars on it and their patterns. The turns are fun. I value that. I value having fun turns. That's why I hate all the weird wide turns. Went wide there. Oh, so okay, what was the topic before the Thwomp Ruins thing that I was saying? Maple Tree, Coconut Mall, that's what it was. So, yeah, between those escalators, Waluigi, CPU Waluigi, He like slowed down a lot for some reason, and I forget again if he hit something or he's just being a CPU and they have to go slow sometimes. But he goes over that fountain with like no speed, and we're in the back because we've learned that playing on bombs only, it's more fun to sit in the back against the CPUs, because if you just front run, then it's not very interesting, you know, because it's, again, bombs only. So there's nothing interesting about front running a track, it's just racing. You might as well time trial at that point. And so we're in the back, and I go, and I see Waluigi as I'm passing with a corner of my eye, just like on the fountain, just like sitting there almost. It looked like he was bouncing. I was like, what in the world? So I think I recorded a little bit, and I was like, you need to go back and watch the replay of Waluigi. And we go back and watch it, and he's going so slow, he clips the top of the fountain and gets stuck a little bit and just goes up and down like this. It's super, super funny. I was like, that is such a CPU thing. Okay, so Peach Gardens is a advanced B. I have come back to this one somewhat recently, but I don't think I've put in a ton of time into it. Really, most of these tracks, I haven't put a lot of time. I think you can actually go off the side of that trick. I might be wrong, but that'd be something to incorporate in the future. I do appreciate all the tracks that were in Wii coming back as DLC, even like DLC tracks, right? Or non-Wii tracks that were retros. This is one of them. Like off the top of my head, there's no, let's see, there's no, oh, that was bad. Okay, this one can definitely be improved. I didn't realize I had mistakes like that. So I am 1.2 away, but I've already seen like 2 mistakes. And also, again, I think you can jerk off of that to the side there, so that's probably another improvement. Not going that wide. I'm going to need another tissue. I kind of wonder if talking makes it worse, because this happened yesterday when I was recording. I love what I think this is cool what they did, going backwards around the track. I think this is better than like World's Peach Beach, where it's going through the city, but it's kind of long and straight, and then you go into the a water section, and I think the water is just weird. I get how it handles. You know, it's a little bit delayed when you drift, and it's really like, it's really like you're, I guess, kind of on the waves, like a wave rider type thing, I guess. But I have not had fun. Yeah, I have not had fun yet with it. Maybe I'll get used to it in the future and be like, oh, this is awesome. But as of right now, I don't like driving on the water in World. I'm 0.36 away from bumping this up from Expert B. From Expert B to Expert A, so maybe I'll come back to this one. I know I did put some time into this. I'd have to see, though, how flawed this time is. Like, if I do something, it's not a lot of time to cut off, so I definitely could do it, but it's a lot easier when, you know, you see something that's like, oh yeah, this is a screw up. But when you don't see anything blatant, or there's no, like, missed coins even, you know? Because I know, like, on a track with the off-road like this, it's very easy to miss coins when taking drifts, because you're used to the one angle, and then it's the slippery road instead, and it's just, whoa. But I think I got all my coins here, this one. And again, so far, I'm not seeing any blatant errors, so. This track kind of reminds me of Excite Bike in a way, but it's a little bit more complex, but it's not a total paperclip, but it's similar to a paperclip, you know? Not that all paperclips are bad. Baby Park is chaotic. In real racing, Martinsville is an awesome track. I think was it 6.25 mile? Is it a paperclip, or maybe it's just half? It might just be a half mile paperclip. Yeah, this time overall looks pretty solid. It's close enough to the next rank that I think I could definitely do it, but it's not like an easy one to do. I wonder if there's more motion glidery stuff you could do there. That'd be my guess. Okay, Rainbow Road. Advanced B. Not my best one. So is the next one. The next track's also Advanced B. On my standard. I do like how this one looks. I like the road on it. I think this is what it was in 7, because all the different ones have different types of road. Some of them are, like even Wii's, I think is technically a tile-y pattern, and they replicate that in World 8. This one was just kind of a gradient, and I think it looks really cool, and they made it look really cool. The one thing they might have done is, even if textures are simple, and the road texture is not simple either, it's got a lot of texture in it, and it looks really cool. It looks extra cool with that, but they made things really glow, and this is a pretty nicely textured road that also really glows. Wonder if there's a way you could hold that in motion glide, you know, off of that. Maybe I'll watch the record at some point in time trial this one. I love how this track looks. It plays fine. It's not my favorite, but I don't dislike it either. But it's not exactly a priority. Totally whiffed on the coins there. I might as well just gone for a low trick if I was going to whiff that badly. Especially with those coins there, I don't think I really need to get that one. But yeah, this track is really, like, it's totally easy to see why this one is so popular. I do hope we get a fun GBA Rainbow Road though, because when it comes back, because GBA is really fun, and I know you can hop around on the original one, and all the custom tracks you can really hop around on, and it's super cool. I've always wanted that one to come back. I'd like to get a chance to play it on a, like, not a custom track. So that was we've got, what is it, 6 cups left? 6 cups left. It's 11:30, which is good. I want to be done by 1. I think I will be. I'll just have to combine these and let them go. But that'll probably be for later today. When this one first came out, I liked it a good amount. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this came out with Bangkok and Singapore. All of them came out in the same group. Yeah. Because then it was Rome and Athens. No. It was Rome and another one. Was it Rome and Vancouver? And then Athens and, Athens and Vancouver, and then Rome and Madrid were together. We'll see coming up, but at first I really liked this one. Now it's alright. Not one that I'm really looking to play. And being Advanced B, unless it's just a really, really blatant screw-up that cuts a ton of time out, then I'm like, oh yeah. Because I am only a third of a second, a little bit over, away from... Yeah, so I clipped the wall there. Maybe this is one that I come back to because I don't need much of an improvement to get up, but that's the only reason I'd come back, you know, is I need just a tiny improvement and I made a screw-up. I just need a clean run. Otherwise, I do not find this track particularly fun. I have to bring these with me for Community Day. I'm playing Community Day for the first time in a long time Pokemon Go because it is Tinkatink, and I love Tinkatink. My favorite Gen 9 Pokemon. Riverside Park is an Expert A. I'm just under a second from getting to the next rank, so I don't think I'm going to be getting it anytime soon. I really like this track too. As much as I hate how they butchered all the GBA tracks, because I really love Riverside and Lakeside Park in GBA from playing custom tracks. And I always liked this one. I always wanted to come back, and then they made a tiny version of it. But it is still really fun. So that's the case with a lot of them. Is I hate how short they are for the most part, but they're also really fun. at the same time. So good on Nintendo for making them fun, even if you're gonna totally cut the track. And I could see it to an extent. Like, there's some tracks I'm like, would I really want to play the full version? But some of them I would. I would love to play the full version of this. I'd love to play full Sunset Wilds because it doesn't even go to Sunset in this one. I'd love to play full. They didn't cut it. They did a SNES Bowser Castle, not a GBA. But I would never want to see them cut a GBA Bowser Castle or GBA Rainbow Road. Definitely don't shorten that. That'd be awful. That would ruin it for me. But despite the shortness, I think these are still really fun. I love playing this one. And my time reflects that. Expert A. This is one I put some time into. I probably could make it better, but I don't think it's an easy improvement. I think it's one of those that I'd have to grind for quite a while and slowly get myself better, you know? Maybe slowly improve some techniques. DK Summit's one of the bad times. This is an intermediate B, one of my lowest. Well, I say there's 2B and 3A, or 3A in the intermediate. I am awful at this track. I love Mario Kart Wii. I'm terrible at this. Air hop give you a better line coming down. At least I think I got the air hop. I'm not very consistent with the double. This is why I probably have to go back and watch, you know, like Shortcat or JP giving her shorts on how to do it. How to do it consistently. Because I definitely do not know. I probably should have just shroomed there though. I don't know why I wouldn't. Because I don't think there's another shroom spot unless you're doing the Mario Kart Wii shroom spot. I went up the wrong part of that and I came down at a weird angle. And I might have missed an air hop too. So do I screw up around? I wouldn't be surprised if I screw up on this ramp. Yeah, that I probably didn't get the air hop because I went way further out. You shroom through there in Mario Kart Wii. I wouldn't be surprised if the record does that and just does really good doubles. But for now, I'm definitely not worrying about that. I'm just worrying about trying to get the double and not totally die. I don't know why I'm not using any mushrooms. So I probably could improve this one if I can get the double cut down just off the basis of there you go, that was much better. On the basis of I'm not using my mushrooms. If I finish without using a mushroom, maybe I should see where this would land on the no item one. I have 2 coins too. Not even able to get up there. In Wii, you gotta be careful because you don't want too much speed because you have to slow down for the double cut. I know this one you can kind of just go off of it. Now that was better. I was close to the ramp. I'll check later on what this would be on the no items run, but I'm kind of curious since I didn't use any of my mushrooms. Well, okay. Yoshi's Island I'm also not very good at. It's an advanced C. I'm 1.2 seconds away on DK Summit from bumping that up, but I've got a lot of room for improvement because I'm not very good at it. That's one thing that I haven't played World as much is because I'm not as much of a tech player. I'm more of a precision player. I'd say I'm better at I like racing on the circuit tracks and all that. More than ones like DK Summit where there's a lot of more like techie stuff. And World is like all tech because of all the shortcuts and all that, you know, you have to do. I know on lap 1 it's a lot easier to get this when you do your mini turbo, but I think I miss it the next 2 laps because I think it's on the other side and I just don't have that like lined up. I would appreciate it if my nose stopped running. I had to carry a tissue box with me for today for Community Day, honestly. Even besides missing the thing on here though, this track is not very easy. Yeah, I got nowhere near it. I kind of wonder if you have to let your mini turbo off and go drift the other direction to get it. Or just be faster. That could be it too. But Be interesting to watch people who are close to my time, you know. It's kind of cool seeing the road and how much more texture there is, given how some of those early tracks, not all of them, but some of the early tracks had some really bland textures. But you could tell they made improvements, you know, as they went on a little bit. I do think this track is pretty fun, but definitely not easy. And you can see the things going the other direction, so no hitting it for me. Some mini turbos off there. I got under a 214. I'm happy with that. Bangkok Rush, Advanced B. This is an interesting one. I've always like. I'm not big on the tour tracks overall, but I've always kind of liked this one. I think over time, as I've liked other tracks more, this one probably isn't as high on my list, but I still think it is pretty fun. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it though. Again, another one at advanced speed time. That's kind of where my average is, and that kind of reflects that. I'm definitely not totally awful at it or anything, you know, where it's one of my really bad times, but it's not anything standout. It is right as an average time for me. Even though technically my average is advanced A now, but the bulk of mine are advanced B and advanced A. That's what I said, right? I think it was the most of them were advanced B. Yeah, 27 are advanced B, 19 advanced A. So yeah, Amsterdam, Bangkok, we have Singapore at the end of this cup, so we did get those three together. Now there's a shortcut over here. You can land over in the grass and mushroom. And I go and hit the wall, though I don't think that cost me that much time. Going to lap 3. I love the bouncy section too. I think that's really cool on this track. I do kind of like how you go through some of these in the same way or different ways, but like this time you go through the same way, but you take the turn differently. And that's always fun. Yeah, I think this is really cool how they made those bounce pads. Yeah, I think that I could definitely race this better, but I'd really have to learn the track, I think, to make a substantial improvement. You go with DS Mario Circuit. This is one that I've played a lot. Expert B. I'm under a third of a second away from the next rank, but the shortcut is really hard. It's just a grass cut, but it is the elevation change is weird. And it is very easy to just slide. Yeah, like there, that looked good. It's very easy to almost like hit a wall, invisible wall almost, or have your mushroom boost kind of just carry you sideways instead of taking a good turn. I feel like the record might do something there. Maybe cut off a little bit of off-road or something in the turn. Not me though. This is one of the best Mario Circuit tracks though. Especially if you don't look at like SNES, because there's so many different SNES ones. Like, yeah, that was not a clean shortcut. There's so many SNES ones, like you can pick and choose. But just because there's multiple excluding them. N64 Mario Raceway is good. It's in Wii. GBA Mario Circuit is nice. But I think this one is the best. I do kind of like 7's. Wii's is very simple. It does have a cool glitch though. Wanted the off-road there a little bit. I could see myself coming back to this one to improve it, even though the shortcut is not easy at all. Just because I know there's a few mistakes. And I don't need to cut off a lot more to get that up. That being said, it's only Expert B, so I would not be getting up to the full next rank. Just the next rank with an Expert. Waluigi Stadium is another one of my bad ones. This is another intermediate B. And then we got 2 intermediate A's and another intermediate B later on. I love racing this track though. Another one, you can see how much better, like, it looks muddy. And it looks a lot better than some of these early tracks Road does. Missed the coin. Missed the coin. We got a coin. This is another one. I probably need to watch the record and just try to mimic to the best of my ability, even if it's not going to be, obviously, near that level. Probably didn't need to trick there with the boost panel, but maybe not. Or maybe I was good, I don't know. Maybe I just did it poorly. I think the records will get a light. They'll drift off of that with a very light angle. Like a very light angle, and then probably in the air go into a full soft drift, you know, angle. Yeah, that was really bad. Oh, no wonder why this time is so terrible. I need to come back to this one, because this is, again, one of my lowest, like, DK Summit. This should be a pretty easy improvement. I mean, these are just bad mistakes. But I have not incorporated that yet. In the future, I hope to. Now, that time I didn't go for the trick. I just missed the boost panel, which definitely cost time. Nice tight turn here, though. Awesome glitch in Wii. You bounce off. You turn around right here, go off of that ramp, land on the start-finish line. It bounces you to the side and then bounces you back. Bounces you off that wall right there and then bounces you back onto the track. And then you do the ultra. You shroom over that last ramp, go back to the last key checkpoint, and then go back and finish your lap. I think the record has a 2 for 3 right now. It does it with 2 mushrooms, then does it with 1 mushroom plus a respawn. I think it might be 1 mushroom and then a mushroom to get over the ramp, and then a mushroom to do it on lap 3, and then it does the respawn because you don't have enough speed to get over. Awful time right there. That one's definitely one to improve. Singapore Speedway. This might be the only Birdo time. This is an advanced B. No date on it means it was a decent amount of time ago. Yeah, if I'm going to be doing the let's not move strategy, I need to be on a heavyweight and not Birdo. I know that's how you race Singapore though, but I'm pretty sure it's a warrior time or something. Which for me would always be a Funky Kong time. Or Dry Bowser. I used to use Dry Bowser for the heavyweights if I needed one. Before Funky came out. But now it's Funky. I was not able to get my 200cc record down with Funky Kong though, so that's still Dry Bowser. But I'm a Mario Kart Wii fan, so gotta use Funky. Yeah, this just looks slow when you're not. It's a heavyweight. This has good music too. I really like this one. How far away am I on this? Oh. I'm 2 seconds away from the next one. But honestly, I think that's probably easy to get because this is me doing like heavyweight strats with not a heavyweight. So I probably could cut a good amount of time just with a character change. So maybe that's when I'll come back to. Maybe I'll come by this one with a heavyweight and use more strategies. Unless the record is actually a medium weight, but I don't think it is. That was really bad. If I don't have a shroom spot, I never use my mushrooms. That's why I kind of like the no item ones, because I just don't have to worry about it. There's a cut at the very end of the lap though, so I'll probably do that, I hope. Kind of surprised this is advanced B too, because this isn't a very good time. Some of it's fine, like when I'm actually taking turns I think it's pretty fine, but nope, didn't even use the mushroom there, yeah. Very questionable time by me there. Athens Dash is really fun. This one is an advanced B for me as well. Are there any more sets of 2 tracks that are the same? Yeah, there are. There are a couple more times where back-to-back are the same. But no more than I think 2. I wonder if you can go inside there, but I don't think I trusted my alignment to do that. I really didn't think I'd like this track that much when it came out, because like color palette wise, is like this track is a full-on brown and green, and it's another one where like pretty simple textures on some of the things like the rocks and the trees. And I was like, this, I don't think I'm gonna like this one, but it is a ton of fun. Definitely one of the better city tracks. So there's a shortcut here, is there not? Yeah, there is. But I slid me way wide. That's what the Mario Circuit shortcut does, where you just go sideways. I think it has to do with, like, not just the angle of the road, but also when you use your mushroom. Mushroom right through there. It's fun throwing bombs at that, because the bombs will break the piranha plant cutouts as well. They won't blow up or anything, they'll like hit them, break them, and bounce off of them. Overall, I think this time is pretty fine. Another one, I'm about a little bit over a second and a half from the next standard up. If I come back to this one, it'll probably just be because I like it. Because I'm not like close or anything to the next one, so there's not like a goal that's really close, you know? I gotta get under 150. Daisy Cruiser, I don't think Daisy Cruiser's ever been as good as it was in GameCube and as a custom track in Wii, but I've got an expert C time, so I'm not terrible at it. I did actually grind this one out a little bit. As much as I don't like I don't like the underwater section that's in 7 and this one, it is still kind of fun to race on, so I did grind this one out a little bit. But I don't have the time, so, or the date. But I know it was a more recent one. I try to do the dates when I remember. Or screenshot my times too, and then I can always go back to the screenshot. But yeah, I know I played this one like last year, so my lines should be pretty good overall. There could be some things where it's faster to get a smaller mini turbo, or I shouldn't be eking out, you know, a purple, or maybe I can't, but other people can, or they can do it quicker. But like overall, this time is pretty solid. 33,994. One thing that bugs me about World is that it doesn't give you like your lap times, I think, at the end. That's really annoying. I think you have to like either watch the replay, essentially, you have to like math them. And that kind of takes some of it, because I like the it's nice seeing when you get a good lap, and then also, I mean, like, you can keep track of when you finish a lap of where you're at. It's like, okay, this is good pace or this is bad pace, but I just cannot believe it doesn't show it, because that's always been a staple. I could have gone straighter off of that and finished a little bit quicker. That's always been a staple in Mario Kart. So move you highway advanced speed, I'm half a second away. This is a don't turn much. Just try to get your lines straight. It was cool when that was elevated right there in Wii, not just a regular old grass patch, so you could do a low trick. I think you could actually technically do 2 low tricks off of it. This is also kind of like Wii, because you don't want a wheelie nudge, because when you're in a wheelie you get more speed, but when you nudge your wheelie you lose some speed. That's one thing I've struggled with playing Wii recently, is I'm not used to that. And, you know, I keep losing speed. And it's all just about getting your alignment immediately and not having to nudge. Sometimes it's hard, like with the cars and everything, but like, we're on lap 2, why is there no cars here? We passed that one, there's that guy, and now there's somebody. They're just way too spread out. Because you get more cars as you play. And we're coming into lap 3 now. There's a bomb car coming. But this is large sections where there's just no cars. And I just do not understand it. I love Moonview, but I don't think it's particularly fun in this game. It's alright. I like that I get to use Funky Gong because I'm Drylet. But... And because it works the same as Wii, where you just want to get your alignment and not have to move it at all. It's, you know, at that point I'm like, well, I might as well just go play it on Wii. You know, I talk about how I like the outside drift, and I like the feeling of sliding around, but at this point, you do that so little on this track, you know, that you might as well. It doesn't really do it. Might as well play Wii. Squeaky Clean Sprint is an intermediate A. It's one of the 2 intermediate A's. I'm really bad at this track. That was an awful startup boost. I know. You might build a trick there. I know you can drift off of this. Like, you could start a drift and, like, get a big mini turbo up. But I'm very bad at it. I think this is a cool concept for a track, though. And I think it's pretty fun to race, too. Oh wow, that's cool. I didn't realize there was a shortcut there. Though I took it terribly, I bonked the wall and then went wide because of it. There we go. Just got no coin there. And then I fell off of that, and it did not give me any type of drift. Or let it go, as I'm just now getting to orange. I do like you can white red the walls a little bit. That's fun. Okay, so we shroomed through there since we're going up on the high route this time. And there's no shortcut there on the ground on this route. Yeah, this track is pretty fun. Just all the like design around it too. Like this is a really cool design track. All the little details, all the things that are kind of like sitting around, you know. All like the little knickknacks. This time is definitely another very flawed one. Lots of things that could be better. I'd like to know why not going for a mushroom through there. What the reasoning was, did I just forget? And how far away am I? I'm a second away. Okay, so I just shroomed there. I'm a second away. I think I could definitely cut that. LA Laps, I do not like this track much. This is only advance B. I'm 2.5 seconds away from the next rank. I have zero interest in coming to this one and trying to get it better. I think this track is, I think this part is kind of fun with how they have the ramps on the beach and everything, but I mean, after that, I think this track is just bland as heck. So we got kind of just some wide road. We got some bike lanes, which is funny because, I mean, maybe LA's got some good bike lanes, but generally America is known for not being very biker friendly. So I do find that kind of funny. I think some places are better than others, but it'd be more like smaller town areas, you know, where they really try to like emphasize bike lanes. Dodger Stadium's pretty cool. I like that. I do love that. I hate the Dodgers, but I still think any kind of baseball thing like that is cool. So I forget what this road is called. My friend told me one time. I do think it's kind of cool. You can trick onto it, but like when you look at all other city tracks you play through, this one is like there's nothing really going on, and then you go through an oil thing, which is just kind of bizarre, because I know like you could think of American oil, like I could see that, but not California. Really, I think what it's missing is a bunch of traffic cones and construction, because there's construction going on everywhere, it seems. Can't get away from it. Am I just gonna not use the mushroom again? Yeah. I should come back to this one at some point, because I definitely could improve on it. It's just, I don't like this track. Sunset Wilds. This one is weird, because this is the GBA track that's probably butchered the worst. It's kind of taking place at sunset, but the whole thing is like it gets later in the day, and you get like a pink sky and a purple sky, and then like a more bluey one, you know, for night. And there's like none of that here. Advanced A is my rank. It's also got outside or slick road, which is alright sometimes, but this one kind of plays more like a circuit track with a couple ramps. And I'd rather just be able to drift tightly. I don't hate racing on it, but this track really feels like a big what if. I know I did put some time into this one though. And I am... Yeah, I did November's when I got my timing towards that. I have a 133.60 or 143.605. I need to cut a second and the 605 off. Get underneath a 141, or get underneath a 142. So I'm not exactly sure where I would cut that time off exactly. There's probably some crazy strategies or like some bunch of like snaking or something that I do not do or don't know how to do that well. That's my guess, because I don't think I've made any type of like really massive error that would, you know, cause me to be way off. I know I'm just saying this now, but yes, the webcam is shorter. It's set up for Zelda to not cut off as much, and I just don't want to adjust it. This is recorded on my big computer. Crystal will have the regular webcam because that's on a different computer. Koopa Cape is my other intermediate A. I'm just really bad at this one. Isn't it funny that except for Squeak Queen Sprint, all the intermediate A's and B's so far have been Wii tracks, or tracks in Wii. Obviously, Waluigi Stadium is not a Wii track, but it is in Wii, as a retro. Cool shortcut there in Wii, where you can cut that off. I like to see what I do really badly here. I missed the buzzers. That was a big aspect of this one. I just don't think this is as good as being underwater. I think being the tube with the water stream is a lot cooler and a lot more unique. All these tracks that were in 7, I don't think, Wii tracks in 7, I don't think are as good as they were in Wii. What's interesting is so far, I haven't seen any blatant mistakes. I feel like it's probably a, I just don't know where to use certain items type of thing. I mean, there's definitely things I could probably do better, but I just don't know offhand what they are. Like, where it's like, I made this mistake, you know? Or I can't even, like, easily infer. Admittedly, I'm a little tired. I can't easily infer, though, like, you know, what exactly is wrong, you know? I think you can go through the waterfall in this game. I don't think it automatically takes you down. In Wii's, you get in the waterfall and you're dead. Unless you have a mushroom. Maybe that's a better mushroom spot? I don't know. That wasn't very clean, but I don't think it lost me a ton of time. No off the ramp. Get to the left right there between the tree. You can shroomless cut that off with a hop, like a bit of a hop. It's not easy to do, though. That might be... I know Dry Ruins takes a TF input, but Koopa Cape might as well. Just a little bit more of a complex technique where, like, you drift, and right as you, like, stop drifting, you, like, go just hard to the other side or something like that. Or right before you get, like, into the air, you, like... I think it's when you hop or something. It's something weird. You guys can look up a TF input. But I did see a tutorial on it. That's like 1 minute and 43 seconds that describes it really well. That's a Wii thing, though, not this. This is an Advanced C. I'm 0.4 away from bumping it up, so maybe I'll come back to it. I think Vancouver Velocity is pretty fun. up there for the city tracks. I kind of wonder, you know, I know part of the city tracks was, you know, Mario Kart Tour, but it does make me wonder a little bit, like, with, you know, with World being like a full-on world, and these definitely weren't going to be fitting into a full-on world, right? If that was some of the, like, if they were already, how far were they into Mario Kart World's concept and all that when they started doing the DLC? Because the DLC just came out in what, like 22 and 23, or 23 and 24, or something like that. It kind of makes me wonder. I'm definitely seeing some errors here, just some like missed inputs, you know, things like that. But I wonder if they're like, we have this concept, the tour track aren't gonna be like a retro or anything like that, because we're not really having retros in that sense, you know? They gotta fit the world. And that's part of what, you know, was the thing. Because I think Tour still runs, or did Tour shut down? If Tour shut down, that would also explain it too, but... You know, these tracks would be impossible to make as, like, retros. Yeah, that was really bad. Okay. So I really should come back and play this track. I have so many games I want to play now. I can't swap between Zelda and Mario Kart easy. I can't swap between Crystal and anything else. Crystal's the only thing on my laptop at this point. And after that, I'm probably going to move everything else to my, this computer. This desktop. If I can. The biggest thing is Linux, because I don't have Linux on that, so there's some things I've had a little bit of trouble like downloading all that, because I'm just not used to it. Yeah, so this one definitely have to come back to. That's an easy improvement. Last two cups, Rome Avanti, Expert C. I really like Rome. This is a fun track. I like that they went with the nighttime for this one too, because, you know, it was going to be very easy. I didn't realize that you're going over the Colosseum and then you go through the Colosseum, but that makes total sense. I had to have watched somebody do that to get that strategy, because I would not have thought to do that myself. I do remember watching Artat go and learn this track a little bit. I've been watching Wii again, so I've been watching a little bit of TW98. That was one of the first YouTubers I ever watched, like a long time ago. Like 2012 time period. But I watched Artat a lot for 8. And he got a job that is probably going to prevent uploads, or at least Mario Kart, to the channel. So, happy for him. Though it does suck as a fan. But I remember watching him learn this track in 8. I might have taken some things from that too, honestly. But yeah, this in Athens, I could have had the... could have looked really similar to each other, with being very brown and green heavy if this was a daytime track, but the browns stay really dark and really orangey with all like the fire and all that and the lights. So it gives a very different vibe, even though the base colors, if you took all the lighting out, are probably quite similar. So yeah, this is a pretty good time overall. And I was a second away, so I'd have to cut a second off of that time. This one is the last intermediate B. What do you know? One of the other Wii tracks, or tracks that was in Wii Retro. I'm 2.5 seconds away from improving my time, and I'm very bad at the shortcut. I'm also not great at Wii. I used to be better, and then I stopped playing Wii, and I've had trouble relearning it, and like learning. It's been easier for me to break the turn before than breaking right before the shortcut. I know there's a shortcut there to the right where you can hop onto the rock a little bit, but I am not anywhere close to learning that. I also think in GCN you could see one of the other tracks or areas off in the distance, because GCN was kind of like interconnected with each other. Yeah, I'm One thing I have trouble with is I think I got the, I'm glad I missed all the tricks, but I'm glad you can trick, because that is a very tough road in Wii, because you lose a lot of time. And the glitch record, you need a shroom to do the glitch, so you have to go over that without a mushroom, but in the non-glitch record, you mushroom over that. But the, a lot of times after I do the glitch, or not the glitch, after I do the shortcut on an 8, what I've always had trouble with is getting my drift in the other direction. Because I always end up, it always ends up like blocking my drift or not registering that I want to drift. Or when I land, I want to drift in the correct direction. So like right here, right? We'll go off, do a right drift. And then I'll want to go left drift and it'll just not drift or, you know. Some of that is bad alignment. Like that was a terrible alignment, but I have a lot of trouble with that when I just race on it. I think that could really take this one down. I'd like to get better at this track because I love DK Mountain. It's a great track. I feel like I remember watching a video of somebody saying they didn't like this one a lot. I think this was fun. Always one of my favorites back in the Wii days. I did not play a lot of Double Dash. I don't like how Double Dash handles as much. That's a little too loose for me. But I love what Double Dash does with like the items and all that. And I think the tracks is one of the best track selections in the entire game. The GCN tracks are awesome. I'm not sure there's a single bad one. Maybe Dry Desert in this game is retro is kind of bad, but yeah, like it does not drift me to the left there. You can see it drifts me to the right a bit more, and I have to like totally realign. And I'm really bad at tricking off of that. Terrible time. Daisy Circuit. This one is an advanced A. The next two are advanced A. And the last cup is Advanced B, Advanced C, Advanced C, Advanced B. So I don't have to get my phone out the rest of this video. Unless I want to check how close I am. I really like the music in this one, and I think this one is probably a bit more fun than it is in Wii, just because I like drifting outside. I'm going to make a video on that topic too. Like I mentioned probably like an hour or two ago. I'd like to make a video on that's one of the aspects of Wii versus 8 that I find myself wrangling with a little bit on playing them. You can play Wii with outside drift, obviously, but Wii at the highest level, and really what Wii is known for is inside. There's, I think, some limitations on what you can do with outside drift or with karts and Wii. Even in something like Retro Rewind, where they're buffed a little bit. Oh yeah, this time was set November. All these were set in November, except for Rosalina's Ice Road Rainbow Road, which were set in December. The other four were November times for me. I think I would like to come back to this one because I do like driving it. I think I could improve it a little bit. I'm 0.079 away from increasing my rate. Yeah, so this one I should come back to because I definitely can do that. I think that's an easy one to get up a little bit. 12:08, I should be done by about 12:30, which is nice. Community day starts at 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2 to 5. I think they're all 2 to 5 now. Piranha Plant Cove, this is a track I was playing on stream. I probably got this time on stream, actually. Though it says 11/16. Was it really that long ago? Let's look. I know I definitely watched like the record and learned some of the strategies. Not everything. Like I can't do the crazy shortcut, but live. 3 months ago was the last time I played Mario Kart, and then 4 months ago. I guess I feel like 4 months ago would not be. Time Trial plus Worldwides. I feel like that's when I got this time, but my thing says November, so maybe I didn't update it is what it was. Unless I was playing no item, but I don't think I was grinding no item. This track has some of the coolest shortcuts in the entire game. That one at the very beginning there where you use the water drift, and then there's one up here where you use the water drift. And you can do it way crazier than I do it. I do it very safely because I do not know how to do it crazily. And it's kind of difficult because you have to really align well. Yeah, you go like off the side. Oh no, okay, no, never mind. It was the one earlier while I was looking at the time. Yeah, it was the one that I missed while I was just trying to look at when I set this time. I really thought I set it later than this. I mean, we're in April though. We're now in April, so 4 months ago would put in December, not November. Maybe YouTube's on. Well, especially if that last stream though, that one that was 3 months ago, because that's where I remember playing this one. Very difficult track. Did an alright job getting through that. Got sub 210 though, so I'm happy. Madrid Drive. This one, the next one, I'm about 0.7 away from getting an increase. Or increasing my rank, I should say. To be clear. I don't like this one all that much. This is down there on the city tracks list. I do think it's at least interesting. You go through a lot of different areas, but I don't know. I just don't have much fun with it. Hairpin shortcut. We'll see how my time is, though. I said most of these were set in November, except for 2 of them. So I would think that November is... I used Daisy for a few tracks, and this might have been me grinding out the last few, because I forget when I found the standard sheet originally, but I know I had a few that I had to get, because I just didn't have any times down. And I think most of the dates I have on here are November, which would imply that I first started working on this in November. I'll go through the dates like at the end or something and maybe see if there's any other ones that are like older, besides tracks that I know I was playing. Because I know full well that I was playing like SNES Mario Circuit. I don't know what I was doing there. I guess I probably could improve this one, knowing I just did that. Because that probably cost me a bunch of time. Pretty good turn there. I do wonder if I could have either mini turboed. I know what I've seen a lot is sometimes you'll see like a blue mini turbo and then get a purple, you know. So I kind of wonder if something like that could have been done there on that turn, where I go for like a blue immediately and then get a purple afterwards. I could probably sub 210 that. And Rosalina's Ice World, I'd need to sub 211 to increase my time. Not one that I expected to come back. I think it's... I know I probably could eke out another mini turbo before or after that one, but I'm just kind of scared too on that road. Not one I expect to come back. I think it's fine. Not my favorite track in the world. Not my least favorite. Actually, I don't love it. It's probably a bottom third track for me. I think it is a little. I think it does fall into the category of the turns are a little awkward, a little wide. But some of the sections are alright. I think this section's fun. This section is terrifying. I feel like I'm going to cut it too tight or go too high up on the road and swipe down and go off the edge. I think this section's fun too, whether you go on above water or underwater. then I think this section's a little awkward. I'm also just not great at it though, so that's probably part of it. I like the galaxies, you know, up in the sky. I wish in real life you could always see stuff like that in the sky. Wouldn't that be really cool if you could just look up and see like a bunch of like, essentially like if you looked up space photos, you know, that have all the colors. If we could just see that from here naturally, that'd be so cool. That was really bad. That was really bad, and I can definitely improve this time, because otherwise I was like, I'm not sure what else I can do better, but I can definitely cut that 742 off of the time. When you have an error like that. That was a bad job of getting miniature out. Says Bowser Castle 3, I need to cut that .038 out, and then I'd bump up a rank. Hot take, really don't like this track. I don't love anti-gravity. I can live with anti-gravity, it's not my favorite though. So I don't really care to have this big anti-gravity section. I appreciate that they did something cool with it. Like I could see the lava is flowing down, and we're going up, you know, and then we're coming back downwards a little bit. Like I understand it. But I love GBA Bowser Castle 3 and Mario Kart Wii. And STES Bowser Castles are very similar to the GBA ones and how they play. They're the same type of thing. You know, this is still 2D Mario Kart, so both of them are, you know, roughly the same as each other, like how they're laid out. They're very similar. And I would have rather just played a base SNES Bowser Castle that looks like GBA BC3 and Wii. So, just me. I know that's probably a flaming hot take, because I know a lot of people really like this track, but it is just not my cup of tea. I think that turn is awkward with the bumps. The anti-gravity is not that fun. But I can appreciate that they kind of went all out. It does look pretty cool. And this view, when you're looking up towards the lava that's, you know, going downwards, is pretty neat. Whew, almost went off the edge. If I did a Mario Kart track tier list, I'll probably do that eventually. For 8 tracks. Yeah, this might be in one of the biggest hot takes. Okay. And then we remember Road, I'm 1.2 seconds off of this one. Have to get under a 246. And I was bad at this one. It took a lot of grinding to get this one even just to Advanced B, Advanced B. It is a Funky Kong one though, which is cool. So in Wii, you want to get 2 tricks off of here, but then you don't get off of that one. You can get like an extra trick if you do like a kind of a drift. You get the boost there to get enough speed to get over that. Now in Wii, I think it technically does have like the grid pattern here that the like the Mario Karts and the base game have. I do like that there's no like the grid itself is rainbow colored, you know, and I think in all 3 that are in base Mario Kart 8, it's black, and then it's a really light rainbow in 8. It is a glowy rainbow in SNES, and it's a darker color in 64, and it looks better to varying degrees. That being said, I don't like how it looks as much. I think it just looks a little bit better in Wii. I do love the galaxy though and everything. I love how if you go off the edge, you get the fire too. I feel like there's been a lot of I like this more in Wii. Like I said, I'd like to have a video about that topic because I think it's kind of interesting. Because there's a lot of things I really love about Mario Kart Wii. There's also a lot of things that as I've started to play it again, I'm like, oh man, this is weird. And there's also things in 8 that I've never really liked. at random aspects that I haven't really liked. Just maybe small things, but they add up. But I love how 8 plays. So, yeah, this one took me a while to get, but this is the last track, so finally got the timesheet out. I have no idea if people are going to watch it. If not, that's okay. I'd like to just have it out there. I think it's good. Totally missed some mini turbos there, or some tricks. And we'll see how many tracks I can improve going into next year, where we will do this again. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more things like it, more Mario Kart, I plan on streaming some Mario Kart. I've got some times I need to upload to at some point. I've kind of just been getting back into the swing of doing YouTube this last week or so hang with me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.